Hey, what is up, everybody from X YouTube? And we got a lot of people already here, so thank you so much. I see. But what's up, Trevor? How you doing? Trevor's here, guys. So I wanted to hop on, talk a little bit about the tank standings. I did some updates too. The font was terrible. I took off that atrocious sound for the mock draft simulator. Sorry about that. But here's the new font. Hopefully it's better on the eyes. I wanted to try to pick one that actually looked good as well as still luxury. And this is kind of just a simple boldness. So we have the Canucks, the Blackhawks, and the Rangers all at top three. It looks like the Canucks are probably going to get a top three pick. I think that they would, I mean, if they went three, if they got three, I think it would have to be Keaton Verhoff or a Chase Reed just because of the right-handed defenseman. You could get Zeev Boyum, but also look at Caleb Malholtra. But I wanted to do just a look at some of the games tonight because there are a lot of games and there is going to be some playoff implications as well as some tank implications. I mean, you have the Blues and Sharks game. That's a big tank game. The Leafs, you got to look at every single Leafs game down to the wire going into the playoffs because, I mean, the Leafs could get their pick, obviously, if it's top five. The Calgary Flames right now are on a roll, honestly. I think they've won like 6 of their last 10, and that's pretty good for this team. Like, they've been on a roll, so I would not be surprised if, they were competitive in that Avalanche game, but obviously the Avalanche are just such a dominant team. But how are you guys doing? I want just some comments. What do you guys think about the game last night for the Blackhawks as well as some of the other games? I know there's a lot of college hockey going on right now too. You got a lot of the Frozen Four teams are already set and also March Madness. So opening day for baseball too. So it's a great time for sports fans alike. I have some clips here that I wanted to show you guys too. That I think are very, very cool, especially for draft fans. I'm going to click one of them, but this is going to be like Caleb Malholtra talking about his player comparison.
Well, I loved watching Jonathan Taves and kind of Patrice Bergeron as well. I wasn't a Boston fan growing up, but was just respecting his game and seeing what he's done. But yeah, Jonathan Taves, kind of how he was so elite on both sides of the puck in the circle, kind of all over the ice. You could trust him in any situation. You want him to be out there when you need a goal, and when you need to shut somebody down, you can also put him out.
And I'm just typing a poll up to tell Twitter I'm on a live stream. All right, cool. So I posted that out. I think that we will do a mock draft today, as well as we're going to have some guests on. So comment down below. Yeah, yesterday that loss last night is huge, but the Panthers might not win again. Yeah, I don't believe that the Blackhawks are going to get that Panthers pick at this point anymore. It is looking more and more like, if you go to the tank race, it's looking more and more like they're going to have their own pick, and it's going to be a 2027 pick. But we can look at the Blackhawks picks. They have, I should actually put that as a feature in this, but the Blackhawks have very, very good value with their picks next year. They have obviously the Oilers, the Panthers, if the Panthers don't, give them their pick this year, but also they have the Blackhawks own first. So they have 3 firsts, and then you have a couple second round picks, one from the Canucks, which is going to be very, very valuable. I think it will be top 38. And also have to look at the Toronto Maple Leafs second round pick this year because the Blackhawks own this. So that could be top 38 as well. But in terms of, the value, I saw someone post today that the Blackhawks could have had Matthew Nyes for Artem Levshunov, and I thought that was kind of interesting. So I would not have personally done that. I would have kept Levshunov, honestly, as well. And we don't know what else was in that trade package, but at the same time, like, you can't give up a right-handed defenseman that you just took second overall this early. Obviously, I want your opinions on that. Would you trade Matthew Nyes for Artem Levshunov just straight up? what do you guys think? But at the same time, like Matthew Nyes is a great player, but I'm not going to give up the upside on a guy like Artem Levshunov. He has had a lot of flashes. The Panthers basically play 80% plus playoff teams. Yeah, they've had a down to the wire schedule, but they're tanking at this point. So it's like, I really don't believe that the Blackhawks are going to get that pick. You would do it immediately for Levshunov for Nyes. I think a lot of people have been down on Artem Levshunov a lot, and it's for, I mean, there's a reason why people have been critical, but he just has so much upside. That right-handed defenseman in the NHL is so valuable that's why he can even get a Matthew Nyes offer. I don't think a lot of Blackhawks fans would even think he could get a Matthew Nyes offer, but at that point, it's like you got to keep the guy. There's a reason that the Leafs want him as well. Considering we're going to be top 5, yeah, but I just losing, like, trading Artem Levshunov for Matthew Nyes actually hurts the Blackhawks tank chances. And I think this is the most important year that the Blackhawks will ever have in the next 10 years to get a top 2 pick, because the top 2 picks are obviously Gavin McKenna and Stenberg at this time. And I feel like that's not going to change, but there's a real reason why those 2 players are so highly valued. And it's because of the type of playmakers there. And you put playmakers around Connor Bedard, Anton Frundell, Frank Nazar, and some of the other prospects coming up, it's going to multiply their game. You talk about Ryan Poles on the Bears GM. He talks about multipliers in drafts. One player can multiply multiple different positions. Think of edge rusher, helps the defensive tackles. You think about, centers. You need, if you have a pretty good playmaking center, you're going to need a couple snipers on his wing. And I feel like with Connor Bedard, he's the opposite. He can play drive, he can also play make, but his strength is really his shot as well. And then you add Anton Frundell there, who has an incredible shot too. That dude's always looking to shoot. I feel like he's looking to shoot outside the stadium. Like whenever that guy is even near an ice rink, he's looking to shoot. I mean, that guy is always trying to shoot. And I love that. I love that aggressiveness. You need to add a playmaker around him. Getting Gavin McKenna on a guy's line like Anton Frundell, even it will help Nick Lardis on the power play. I don't know if he'd be on power play 1 or even with Gavin McKenna. I'm just saying if you get Gavin McKenna, he makes other players go on that power play too as well. So for me, it's like Stenberg would be a great, fantastic fit as well. And I think that there's a huge debate right now. If the Blackhawks did get the number 1 pick, who that player would be. I think number 2 would be a fantastic pick because you don't have to like choose, but like Ivar Stenberg and Anton Frundell, they're really good friends, obviously, and they have a lot of chemistry together. They won gold at Sweden. Ivar Stenberg's a guy that could definitely be drafted by the Blackhawks. They could be drafted by a lot of teams. In that number 1 pick. I think the Canucks could also go in that position. With the Canucks, I think that you need to go with Gavin McKenna though, because at the same time, like you need that star power, you need that risk, that chance that there can be a superstar in that mold. And I feel like that's probably going to be where Gavin McKenna would go. He's also from around the area, which is also a really good thing. I mean, BC, so I feel like that would be just a really good pick. If the Blues went number 1, let's say the Blues got the number 1 pick, I think they could go Ivar Stenberg. They have Ivar Stenberg's brother, Otto Stenberg, that they drafted. Say the Sharks look out, they get the number 1 pick. I think that the Sharks they'd have a lot of options. You could trade back, obviously. You can select Gavin McKenna or Stenberg, whichever one, and then trade a couple of your top 6 prospects anyway, or 1 top 6 prospect, and get a loaded package for some defensemen. But at the same time, like they have 2 picks in the first round because they also own the Oilers pick. So like that would be an option where I could totally see them trading down to try to get a guy like Verhoff. That would be perfect for them. I think coming into the season when they started on their hot streak, there was like no way they're going to get Verhoff. But now it's starting to become a reality that they're not as they already are. They're probably not going to make the playoffs. I mean, every team still has a chance other than the Rangers and the Canucks right now. Even the Blackhawks have a fighting chance, but at the same time, it's like very, very unlikely and everything would have to go right. And they're not making the playoffs. I'm just saying there's like a 0.1% chance. So at this time, like you see the Sharks are 9, say they win the lottery, I would totally see a scenario where they could just take Gavin McKenna and then trade one of like Michael Misa. I don't think they would trade Will Smith because the friendship with Celebrini, that would be a little interesting. But Igor Chernyshov has been fantastic. Like they can get anybody they want. You don't think that they could get Artem Levshinov for like Michael Misa? Obviously, it would have to be Levshinov and a piece for Michael Misa or whatever it is, but they could go out and trade Victor Eklund. William Eklund, Victor's brother, and I feel like that could be an option. I know that he's a great offensive player, but his plus minus has been kind of eye popping this year. We could go to it. I think it was like somewhere in the minus 30s, and that could, I know plus minus is the worst stat in hockey, but at the same time, he could be an option. Minus 32, yeah. Like last year, he was minus 7, and they were a much worse team. But like Igor Chernyshov has been fantastic. If you guys have not been noticing, 14 points in 19 games played. Like this is a team that could totally select a Gavin McKenna and trade some of their guys too. It's not just a black and white pick where it's like, oh, they need a right-handed defenseman. You can trade for one with all your assets. Look at how many assets the Sharks have. I'll go to the prospect pool tab. You could go see they have Quentin Musty here. I mean, Quentin Musty's had a fantastic year with the Barracudas in the AHL, 35 points for 52 games. And kind of the one thing was like, how is he going to translate playing in professional hockey? He has really good size, 6'2", 200 pounds. I know for a fact that the Blackhawks did want to trade back into the first round. I think, what was he, in 2023 when he was falling? These are some of his stats and stuff. But that was a player that was highly coveted, even though he did fall. David Klee is pretty fun to watch, but I'm not sure how much upside he has. But this is actually the guy that played with Vaslav Nestrasil last year on his same line, and he had a great season. I know at North Dakota hasn't had like the best year, but it's always tough for players, especially like centers, to come into the NCAA and have a great year. But this guy is going to be good. Cam Lund, I got to talk to, AHL All-Star this year. He's had a pretty good year, and he 6'2" size. You get him in. There's a lot of 6'2" centers on this team, actually, especially in the prospect pool. But at the same time, like this is a guy that I could also see being a trade piece, or the Sharks just have a plethora of incredible prospects. I'm going to go back to the comments. What is up, guys? We got some more comments here. This would be after the season is over. Totally understand that. Is Roman left or right? Roman Kanserov is right-handed. I feel like that would be fun. I mean, the guy could shoot. I'll go to Roman. Do I even have him on here? Yeah, right here. Yeah, Roman Kanserov, 64 points in 63 games in the KHL. He actually led all goals. I mean, he led the KHL in goals this year. And I mean, for a guy that's 21 years old to do that is incredible. Also, the KHL is a men's league, and he's 5'9", 176 pounds. That's pretty great stuff. You can kind of tell that he's going to at least play professional hockey for a very long time if you're putting up this stuff. I'm very excited for Roman Kanserov. I know we have a lot of Blackhawks people and supporters in the group. I was going to do a lot about all other prospect pools, but I think Roman Kanserov is solidified himself in my top 10 prospects that are not in the NHL right now. And it's because of how much upside this guy has. I know Rinkside General, if you guys have not seen his stuff, made an incredible, really good video about Roman Kanserov, as well as Lee. Lee does some really good stuff. He's a live streamer that does like Blackhawks content during the games. He dropped a really good Roman Kanserov video, and you could just see the upside. I mean, even people that aren't in the scouting world love this guy. Like, I think that he can give a run to like Vigo Bjork, to the next 5'9" overseas players right now, because I really like Vigo Bjork's talent and skill, but I think Roman Kanserov can have a higher floor in terms of because he's played so well in a professional league like that. So we have 108 people, 109. What's up, everybody? Yeah, he is right. Like I said, Artie and our first if we are 3, if Sharks get 4. I don't know. I don't want to trade Artie like that. And if we trade Artie and we're 3, then we can't take Keaton Verhoff. So we lose out on 2 right-handed defensemen. And right-handed defenseman is so important. I think that the Blackhawks will try to do everything to keep him for at least 2 or 3 more years. Shoot Artie and Kevin. No. I don't see that. Who is going third? I think it's Keaton Verhoff, but I also think that, and I've heard that people are very high on Carson Carrolls. They're very high on a guy like Chase Reed. They're very high on Caleb Maholcha. I haven't heard much since the World Juniors about Albert Smiths, but at the same time, like it's slightly weeks before lying season, but at the same time, like I think that there's going to be teams that see him as the number 3 overall defenseman or number 3 overall pick as well. I'm not there yet, but I think Keaton Verhoff will go at 3. Maybe Chase Reed can fight him forward a little bit. I could go back to the rankings because this is an interesting debate. And I actually, in the comment section or the community section, I already did this, but you can actually select who do you think will be the first right-handed defenseman off the board, Keaton Verhoff or Chase Reed. It's going to be like that. We have 5 votes for Keaton Verhoff right now, 1 for Chase Reed. So I'm happy to see people are at least voting. This is brand new. It came out yesterday. So go out there, try to vote, and then an AI like model will continue to count those votes and put them back into the draft board because there's going to be an official draft board. We have 36 days until the NHL draft lottery, which is super exciting. May 5th, guys. One day after May 4th. May the 4th be with you if any Star Wars fans are out there. We have 89 days now to the NHL draft. That's crazy. That's crazy. I know that it's going to be an exciting one. The Blackhawks and might only have 1 pick. It does loading standings. I don't know why it's taking so long. Yeah, so I know that the Canucks are probably going to get the number 1 pick. Who do you think the Canucks will take? Why does this app consistently eat my button presses? It makes me, what does that mean? Can you clarify? Because that's interesting. It depends on the team. Having Frondel, Lardis, Frank, and Roman for right wing is going to be a logjam. At least Frank can play center, but Frondel has minimal time at center. Actually, no, Frondel has a lot of upside at center, and he's played center for a very long time. You saw yesterday how good he was at center as well. For his time, he actually got the opportunity to play. And I feel like Frondel can be a very versatile center. He has a really good B game. You could see his relentless forecheck. His transition game has looked very phenomenal in terms of that was his weakness, and he hasn't looked out of place whatsoever. I think Frondel can definitely be that guy if the Blackhawks do need him to be a center. Did the announcer yesterday misspeak? I thought he was pretty good at center. Yeah, he was good at center. What did the announcer say? I was listening to it on mute because I was on a stream. I was on this stream, obviously, but did he say anything bad? Let me know, Trevor. I also have a couple more media clips. I want to make this full screen, but I'm not sure. One thing you are currently focusing on to elevate your game to the next level.
Want to get better at everything. But I think this summer was more about skating, getting more explosive, quicker, reach my top speed faster, because it feels like I want to get up to my top speed quicker.
Yeah, so he wanted to get faster. It kind of helped his transition game. You could see it in that clip. Let me know if you guys want me to drop more clips. I have hundreds of clips of these guys. And honestly, I was going to make a page here that was going to drop all of it, but X no longer allows it, which is kind of sad. So I'll manually put in a lot of my videos. So they're all going to be on here anyway. But you could also visit the site for rankings and scouting reports. There's also a new website that I'm coding that's coming out about their draft rankings, and you can actually create your own draft ranking. And there's going to be a lot of draft creators that are featured on there. So I'm really excited for that. Let me know if you guys want me to drop any more. They said he didn't play much at Djurgården. He didn't, but previously, especially in the the J20s, and previously in his XHL before in Sweden, he actually played a lot of center. So he came out of the draft as a center. A lot of people didn't know if he could make it as a center because of his transition game. It's looked a lot better. I want to go to his former career. I want to see if it shows where he played center. But you are right, Trevor. He didn't play a lot at Djurgården, and they are kind of interesting with the way that they use younger players, especially drafted players. They kind of want to steer clear from guys that are getting drafted. Obviously, Stenberg's different because he went to a smaller team in the SHL, as well as Zarovsky, because that team specifically in the KHL, because the KHL does it too, but they specifically didn't have high-end prospects that come through like that. So if you're on one of the smaller teams, you will get more playing time and play, and your usage is better. Like, he looked good at the World Juniors as well. So I'm a big fan of Anton Frendel. He was Stephen Ellis's top prospect, not in the NHL before he debuted. But how's everybody doing? We have 135 people already in 20 minutes. So thank you guys all for joining. I'm really excited to just dive deep into NHL draft content. If you guys have any questions about the draft, let me know. Comment down below. Yeah, the usage is weird. We will have a guest coming on soon as well, so I'm excited for that. I do like live streaming, so I want to continue to do this more, as like this is draft time, so I feel like it's needed. All right, the audio sounds perfect. Yesterday, I was streaming from my headphones because I didn't want to hold the mic, but it sounds so much better with the mic. So now I'm going to continue to do that. I might do join a mock draft at like 4:45 or 5. Let me know if anybody's interested in joining that, and I'll send them the code. Just comment down below, and I'll get you in. This is completely free. Like I said, on draftprospectshockey.com, I created this, so I'm going to continue to use it so much because I just absolutely love this. Here, I'm going to do another Anton Frendel video.
My biggest dream is to win the Stanley Cup. I think that should be every kid's dream. The how do you say, biggest thing you can win as a hockey player.
You play with Victor Eklund, and you guys have some really good chemistry. Can you kind of tell me a little bit about his game?
He's competing so much. We've been playing, a couple of seasons now together through juniors and now to the pro team in Djurgården. We know each other well. He's so good around the on the boards, winning his battles. He's not the biggest guy, even though he's strong. But when he gets into like battles, somehow he almost wins everything. So for me, it's just easy finding like an open area, finding a spot where I can shoot the puck, and his passing quality is incredible, and playmaker, like hockey sense too. It's good, and like I said, we know each other well. We're good friends, so it's fun and easy to play with him.
Yeah, so there it is. 2 Anton Frendel clips. I feel like they're both really good. This guy is a winner. He loves winning. Won gold at Sweden, or with Sweden at the World Juniors, and he wants to win a Stanley Cup. I did ask him where he'd bring it. He'd bring it back home. Maybe eat some sushi out of it. He loves sushi. I went to Blackhawks practice today. I drove down, took the hour-long trip. It ended up being canceled, but I did see Jonathan Toews there. Got to interview a couple of the Jets players because they were on the ice. So that was cool. But hopefully I can get down to Blackhawks practice and have my first media coverage there. I did it a lot during the summer, but have not gone back. But it's a privilege to even be able to have any media credentials in any way. So very, very cool for all the beat reporters that do it. They are definitely deserving of it, and it's really cool. I hope to one day achieve something like that. But today was going to be my first day, and just as one time thing, but thought it would be cool to still go to the practice and watch the Jets practice. It was kind of cool. Jonathan Toews threw out the first pitch at the Cubs game. I don't know if you guys are Cubs fans or baseball fans, but I thought that was pretty cool too. But we're going to have more updates with the mock draft simulator. Let me know if you guys have used it in the comment section, and if you guys want to run one, because I'm totally down to run one with you guys. I think that it's like a cool way to interact with you guys and see what your thoughts are on the draft. I made the create room here now, so you don't have to run a draft lottery before. Let's do a spin. Florida Panthers got the 2 pick, and then the Kings got the 1. That would be absolutely terrible. I just don't want to see the Florida Panthers anywhere close to a top 2 pick. I don't want them to get Stenberger, McKenna. And I just think it would be annoying, and Twitter that day would be miserable. I actually want to do another one. I can't stand that ranking. Hey, just go to here. Let's see, running a draw. Yeah, this would be better than Florida and the Kings. But since it's a live draft, I didn't think it'd really happen. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Vancouver actually has a 55.7% chance of getting the 3rd pick. That's just kind of how it goes. And that's wild. I think it should be a little more. I think the bottom team should have a little more of a chance. But if you look at the NBA, they're very all similar. It's like every team has like 12.5% chance at the top 4. So they obviously wanted to stop tanking, but I don't know if there's a way to do it in the NHL. I think just continuing to tinker with the way it is. Kind of see how it goes. But do any of you guys have questions about the draft, comments or concerns? We went live. We're gonna have a guest come on soon, I believe. Hopefully, we have a lot of shows this week. I know that I'm doing like 10 or 15 recorded and stream shows. So this is when you have to. But let's see. So today the first game is the Penguins Islanders, and then you have the Flames and Avs. That'll be I don't see the Flames even being in that game, but I think it would be really cool if they stay hot. And then the Ducks Leafs. So some good games, not a full slate, but the Blackhawks play tomorrow. If any of you guys are Blackhawks fans too, they play the Jets. Jonathan Toews is coming back home. And then any tank games? I guess New Jersey and Rangers could be considered a tank game. Rangers kind of have like an easier schedule, I would say. Coming up, they play a lot of non-playoff teams, but they've been kind of competitive. They were good in that Blackhawks game. The Blue Jackets have been fun to watch. They look really good. Even the Capitals, like a lot of teams have been really good this year. But look, if the Blackhawks would have won like all of these overtime games, they would have 40 points right now. I mean, 40 wins. They would have 80 points. So the NHL is so close in terms of like the standings, and then you have like the Canucks here, which it's good for their fans, honestly. Like, this is actually positive to be the worst team. If you're going to be bad, be the worst team, especially in this class. But there is some good players. There's very good players, but top 2 I think is the gem, the prize. I updated the Islanders prospects too. If you guys were with me yesterday, this was not on here, but now they are. So you can see like Cole Eiserman, you can see Victor Eklund. But give me a prospect in the comments. What should I who should I look at? And also, do you guys want me to do a mock draft? I could do like a mock draft and talk about some of the players. And I want to do like a mock draft and then show you guys some of these clips because the clips are sweet. Let's see. I'm actually going to try to pull up some clips, maybe like Gavin McKenna clips and stuff. I have a lot of videos. I have to go through all of this stuff. All right, so here. Oh, wait, no, that did not work. To go to here? Okay. Now it's going to work. So I think this is the clip with Jackson Smith talking about McKenna. And obviously Jackson Smith and McKenna played together. They were really good friends at Penn State this year. Penn State unfortunately lost. It is loading, so once it goes, I will put it up. But do you guys want to see like more highlights, more clips? Tynan Lawrence, what happened at BU? All right, so this is actually great. And then I'll show you my interview, like an interview clip with Tynan Lawrence, because me and Nathan Grav interviewed him. And it was just like BU was really bad this year. And it's something that affected a lot of players. Like if you go to, since I'm already here in the NHL rosters, I could go to Sasha Boisvert. He went to BU. I mean, he had 17 points in 26 games, but was a -7. The entire BU roster just did not have a good year. This was actually good for third best on the team in points per game. And it's not like eye-popping. So kind of just goes to show you. But Tynan Lawrence, I'll go to Tynan Lawrence. He was incredible at the USHL. It says that he went to Porter Winterhawks. I'm not sure why it said that. For other players, it's correct. But he had 7 points in 18 games, 2 goals, 5 assists. I think his last 8 games, I think he had 6 points. So he was like 1 for 12, like 1 point in 12 games or 1 point in 10 games at one point. And that's just really tough production. But at the same time, when you're on a bad team that's reeling a little bit, like they needed a Tynan Lawrence. He just couldn't elevate his game to that next level to help him. And I feel like it was very hard for him. And it's very hard, especially to go from any league to the NCAA because you're playing against men. I don't believe he should have done it. He should have waited, but obviously he knows that too. I've said this, like this is a really good player that played well at the Holinka. He's played well internationally. You've seen the talent displayed, not just like, and then you go to the NCAA and it just doesn't turn out well. And I feel like, this is a player that was on Corey Pronman's. He was number 1 on Corey Pronman's list, and Corey Pronman talks to a lot of scouts, and he's in the know in terms of like who's going to go very, very high in a draft. Like he talks to the people. So I do feel like Tynan Lawrence still could be picked in the top 7. I would not be surprised if that were the case. But at the same time, like he's gone down in the rankings because he didn't perform to what people thought he would in BU. But look back at his USHL clips. Look back at what he was doing during the playoffs to get that Clark Cup. Like he had 18 points in 14 games in the USHL, which is a very hard league in terms of if you see a lot of these guys' stats. Like Nikita Klepov, he was not a point per game player at the USHL, and I could go to the league right now, and he led the OHL in scoring. This is a guy that was not even top or even a point per game. He wasn't even the top scorer on his USHL team. Like it's hard there. It's hard. It's a feisty league, gritty. It's a more AHL than like the Q in terms of scoring and skill. And Nikita Klepov, it took him a little while there. So that kind of goes into Tynan Lawrence. Tynan Lawrence, if he was playing in the OHL, he would have had like 100+ points. But I don't see the offensive elite upside. I see him more as like a 2C with really great defensive instincts. He can get that Selke vote. I talked to his coach, Colton St. Clair, and he said he reminded him of Macklin Celebrini because he could lock down another number 1 center, and he could also produce and is a playmaker. Like he is a playmaker, but he's not going to wow you with his goal scoring. He's not going to make these highlight reel goals. He's like a safer player that just produces, and he's going to be able to really slide into the NHL and be a top 6 center. I talked to Scott Wheeler a couple months ago, and he was talking about how this is the one center that just slots in as a top 6 center. Like, he is going to be a top 6 center. Now you obviously have a guy like Caleb Malhotra, who's just putting the world on fire and tearing it up. 84 points in 67 games. I believe he was top 5 in OHL scoring. No, he was not. He was 12. Wow. That is kind of interesting. I mean, the OHL has incredible scorers. You can see Merrick Van Acker here, 47 goals. It's just incredible. I want to get like slots so you can move these around, but obviously that's the next coding thing I'm going to do. Jake O'Brien is a really great player for Brantford Bulldogs. He's almost 2 points per game there, 93 goals or 93 points and 53 games played. But I'm going to actually go to my interview right now with
I was talking to your head coach, Colton St. Clair, and he actually said that, you remind him a little bit of Macklin Celebrini. Can you kind of go into who your player comp for yourself is?
Yeah, I try to say one of the guys I do say is Macklin Celebrini because he's obviously taking a step this year, but even growing up at, Chicago, I watched him BU and now at the Sharks. He's always obviously been able to put up points with all his skill, but he doesn't cheat the game. He really takes pride in, winning those 50-50 battles and, not giving any other team any offensive opportunity. I feel like that's one of the big things in why he's having success and why he'll be so successful in the NHL for so long, because he, he's not all there about points. He cares about winning, and I feel like that's one of the main things I see in him.
So obviously, his head coach is going to go to bat for him, but Colton St. Clair is a very smart head coach. Obviously, they won the Clark Cup for the first time in like 20 years for Muskegon, and Muskegon just produces NHL talent. You can see who they've produced recently: Sasha Boisvert, Vaslav Nestrasil, but obviously he's not in the NHL now, but he will be. I mean, he's had a fantastic year. And then I'm going to talk about Smits, and then another comment from Sanchez. So thank you guys. Jim, I will always answer your question. He was actually my first ever super chat yesterday. He super chatted me. I didn't even know I had that feature on, so I really appreciate you, Jim. I mean, you're going on the Wall of Fame, but thank you so much for that. You're a part of history. First super chat for my community, so thank you. And he says, feels like Smits is a top 5 lock after the Olympics. And I will just say he looked fantastic at the Olympics. He did not look out of place whatsoever. He was playing for Latvia in a very important defensive role. And he played well at the World Juniors too. I think that this guy will be in the top 7. The only problem is that, Chase Reed and Caleb Malhotra continue to rise, as well as Carson Carrolls. So it's like, where can Albert Smits fit in? Where is he going to fit in that top 5? It might be a little hard for him, but I could totally see a scenario where the Blackhawks are picking at 4 and they pick Albert Smits. I know people might be upset, but the Blackhawks really like Albert Smits. Like, that's not a secret anymore. Like, this is something that we've heard for a very long time. He's playing in Liga. I mean, he's playing in Dell now, but he played at Liga for a little bit. I'm not sure if those are his real stats. I gotta update these. Like Ivar Stenberg, Gavin McKenna, they all have their real true stats here. But if you don't see like the World Junior production, then they don't have it. I'm not really sure why I think they're like coming up with names and saying it's Smits, and then it's oh yeah, he does have his Latvia stats. So this is actually Albert Smits. So he's playing in Dell right now in Germany. So he's playing professional hockey, and this guy has a huge floor, because I feel like you're already seeing him play against pros. It's kind of like Luka Doncic when he played for when he played one of those NHL or NBA teams before he got drafted at like 16 years old, and he was actually scoring a lot. You could just see when a guy comes in and he doesn't look out of place. And Albert Smits didn't look out of place. So Jim, I completely feel that. Can you talk about Oliver Savanto a bit, and where you think he gets taken? I think Oliver Savanto could be taken by the Panthers, if we're being honest, because I do believe that Panthers pick will not transfer to the Blackhawks. He is a big forward. He was one of the youngest players in the entire draft. He has a lot of upside, Let me see what his birthday is. He's like the 4th or 5th youngest player in this draft. It doesn't show his birthday here, but it shows it in the draft. So I'm going to have to run a draft lottery real quick. See, I took that terrible noise off. I know how bad that was. So I'm just going to go to select all. I'll just do the draft with Don thing. And then let's go to Oliver Savanto here. So he was a September 08 birthday. So he just made the cutoff. And 210 pounds, 6'3". This guy has a really good floor for the NHL. I could totally see at worst case scenario, I think he could be a bottom 6 player, but I do think he will be an NHL player. And I think he has some serious upside where his B game is really good. He has a lot of offensive upside as well. I think that this guy could be one of the best third line players in the entire NHL, or he could jump on that. He could be a contributor to a top line, but he's not going to be a play driver. That's the one thing I don't see out of him. I do think that he could stick at center a little bit, but at the same time, who knows? I would have thought Anton Fresnel would have been a center for life, and even Frank Nazar or a guy like Oliver Moore, but you're seeing how teams deploy these guys. It's like you take a center because they have to do the most in a game, and it's usually the most skilled players. But once you get to the NHL, you don't really know what they're going to be and how they're going to translate. So I think Oliver Savanto could go into that top 14, top 15. I would think of teams that could go for him would be like the Panthers, even Boston. A lot of these teams that have playoff pedigree and are just having a bad year. Even the Leafs, I actually don't. The Leafs would go defense, but it's just New Jersey could take him. Even the Kings. I'm not sure if the Sharks would. I think the Sharks need to go defense. I think they need to go defense heavy. But also, Oscar Hemming is over Oliver Savanto for me. I mean, it's one spot over, but he was the youngest player in the NCAA this year, and he's actually older than Oliver Savanto. So take that as Oliver Savanto is very young, but Oscar Hemming could hit. He's like a baby Brady Martin, 6'4". He produced really well in his first couple games at the NCAA level. And I think, he had more points in the same amount of game, or one more game than Tynan Lawrence. So it's kind of interesting there. Who do you think Boston drafts or should draft? I think that they could go defense. They went heavy center. I don't know why it continues to say center is a need. They've taken Dean Letourneau, who could fit probably as a winger. Not really sure what his deployment will be, but he's versatile. You have James Haggins, who I do think can fit at center. So let's put in Gavin McKenna, Stenberg. I'm just going to go down the list. Caleb Mahaltra. I think Florida would probably just take him. And then Boston. If they're at the 6th spot, I would think Albert Schmitz would be a fantastic option. I could totally see Albert Schmitz being a Bruin. I could see Carson Carroll's. I'm not sure if they would go Ethan Belchez. Maybe not at this spot. Daxton Rudolph would be another one if they're looking for that right-handed defenseman. And then Oscar Hemming or Oliver Savanto if they're looking for that power forward. I don't think they would take Viggo Bjork. And I don't know if they would take Ethan Belchez. But I would say right now my pick would be Albert Schmitz for them. But there's a scenario where Carson Carroll goes above Albert Schmitz. So I would say him. Schmitz is already playing professional hockey in Europe in the Dell. So if you're doing the draft with Don version, it will tell you fun facts about the players each time. I'll go to I didn't put the Ethan Belchez one. So Rudolph modeled his game after Drew Doughty, high praise. So I feel like that's a fun one. Nikita Klepov has one. Klepov spent his early years playing defense, and he obviously has 97 points, but he switched to forward, so it worked out for him. But he kind of gives you that little floor there. If Boston makes playoffs and has the 21st pick, what would you have to add that pick to trade up to 12 to take Daxon Rudolph? That's an interesting question. So let's say 21 and then get him at 12. I'm not sure if Daxon Rudolph would be there at 12. Let's say stay safe and say 10. I think there might be 5 defensemen in the top 10. For me, it would take 21 and probably another first round pick, or 21, a second, and a prospect. I could actually go to their prospect pool, see what they got. And I'm continuing to add prospects to the prospect pools because I know not everybody's in here. But Fabian Lascelles is interesting. Had a good year in the AHL this year. Mason Lowry, big 6'5" defenseman, could be interesting. He's already playing in the NHL, but they would definitely want to try to keep him. I mean, look at how good he's been. Yeah, he's been really good this year. I mean, he was good last year too, but yeah, this is a player you keep, but they might have to give up something of a lot of value. Let's see. Not all of them are there. Let me go to the NHL roster for Bruins. Maybe Fraser Minton. Maybe they would have to get him. I mean, you don't want to even try to trade this guy. He's had a fantastic Q2. Man, the Bruins got really good value in that trade with the Leafs. Yeah, this is very interesting. Maybe throw in a what? I didn't know. He had 4 points in 5 games, and they were like, we've seen enough. The Blackhawks were like, no thanks. 1 point in 14 games. I feel so bad for Reichel, man. 3 points in 6 games. That's good. That's progress. I like that. So he doesn't really have trade value. He went for a 6th round pick, which kind of stinks. I saw that he unfollowed the Canucks already, so that was kind of interesting. That was kind of funny. Tanner Jeannot, how's he doing this year? 21 points in 70 games. Damn. Didn't Tanner Jeannot get traded for an entire draft class from the Leafs? That was crazy. We'll see if Flyers make playoffs, but they need to go best player available. No 1C, and the teens pretty filled everywhere. Let's see the Flyers. Well, the thing with the Flyers is, one, I have a ton of clips of Porter Martone. The guy is awesome. He is going to be a really great player in the NHL for a very long time. This is a guy that has the shot, the playmaking, the size, the dangling skills. The problem is his skating, but I think it did improve this year. He's a leader. He was the captain for Canada at the World Juniors. And for me, like, that's just a player that could be a star in the NHL. That 2025 draft was just fantastic. It didn't get as much hype as it should have, but a lot of players are going to be very good players from that draft. I will say, like, I do like Jet Luchenko is interesting to me. I think that he has that middle six floor there where it's going to be like, is he a 2C or is he a 3C? And then Jack Nesbitt not having the best season, but he's 6'5", plays that old style grimy game that I think can translate well on a bottom six, and maybe a third line. So you kind of have a lot of prospects with similar upside there. And then they had an incredible second round. They took Shane Van Sage, Jack Murtagh, Carter Amico. Where the hell are they? F. I know, but am I not? Oh, okay. P. Yeah, the Alex Bump is a good player. Like, he's had a good start to his NHL career. I think that this is somebody that would be like probably like third line player. Denver Barkey, I'm a fan of, but the size is going to be like, if he can play, it's not like the 5'10" size. It's just like how he kind of plays. But 13 points in 36 games is pretty good. Played well in the AHL too. Oliver Bonk, I actually do like a lot. good defenseman prospect. So they do have a lot of different things. I'm going to add a lot more prospects because I'm missing a ton from the Flyers. But as I see it, it makes me like think, okay, I'm missing him. But Shane Van Sage was a good pick. I think the Trevor Zegras pickup was good. So maybe they can target somebody like, where are they even at right now? Let's see. Flyers would be at 14. Yeah, Oscar Hemming would be an interesting one. Adam Novotny. I think that they could go with a defenseman too. Maybe a Ryan Lynn falls to them. Nikita Klepov is kind of in that range. Pippa Reinen would be a fun one. I think that I really like his upside. Someone in the chat yesterday said that he reminds him of a Miro Heiskanen. Villeneuve, but he's 5'11", not producing as much in the queue as we thought, and he's injured. So I don't know how much he's going to fall. I don't think that they would go Vigo Bjork, but that would be really fun. I love Vigo Bjork. Tynan Lawrence could fall to them. I would say they love picking centers. Maybe Tynan Lawrence would be their guy at 14 if he's falling. Briere has never drafted a left-handed defenseman, but they need a young left-handed defenseman pipeline. Yeah, so the best ones left-handed defensemen are Villeneuve, Hawkinson. Really do like Hawkinson. Played well at the World Juniors for Sweden. Malte Gustafsson, I'm lower than him than consensus, but he's a player that is kind of in that 20s range. Nikita Shabakov could go in the first round. I think that this is a player that a lot of teams are going to look at seriously. In playing in Russia right now in the MHL, 10 points in 15 games played for a defenseman that has 6'5" size. So he has the added size. Ben McBeath, this guy's going to go probably in the first round. I think it's going to be more of a situation of a Jacob Brombach, but Jacob Brombach was like projected 50 and then was like the second pick or the third pick in the second round for the Predators. So I think that could be an option too. So there's a lot of good left-handed defensemen in that range, but I didn't know that he never took a left-handed defenseman in the first round or has never drafted a left-handed defenseman. Is Ryan Robrick still a first-round pick? I believe so. I think that his production has kind of speaks for itself. But the thing is, it's going to be like, does a team want to invest into him in terms of there might be some issues outside of hockey in terms of like the engagement in just like hockey. Like with Jacob Ishwozniak last year, who was obviously the Knights draft pick, he was their first pick, but he drafted him in the second round. There was some issues with his engagement level in games. They thought he was taking shifts off. With Ryan Robrick, I feel like it's the same thing that I've heard. I haven't seen it. Like I think it's easier to say that when you're live and you're watching how he skates back to the bench. You're watching things around him, and I'm not in that locker room and stuff. But that's just everything I've heard is he's falling because of those reasons, and he's not having the season they thought he was going to have. He had 41 goals last year. I know it only says 20, but he had 41 goals last year. He had a great season in his D-1 year. So I'm taking the shot at him. He's 6'4", 216 pounds. I think I want to see if he's actually 6'4", because NHL Central Scouting created a list, and I thought it said he was like somewhere in like 6'2", 6'3 range. So if it is, he might fall. But if he has that 6'4" size, he probably will be a first-round pick. This draft is deepest draft in a long time. I highly doubt anyone was going to be willing to trade a higher pick. Just saying, this draft is. I feel like 2023 was deeper with that Connor Bedard draft. I do think that 2025 draft has an opportunity to be deeper, but the thing was the hype wasn't there. Because when you look at a guy like Lyndon Lakovic going 27 or 27, you had Riker Lee go a couple picks after. You had Vaslav Neshersil go 25. Prokhorov. Prokhorov went 42 to the Islanders, and then Malcolm Spence went 43. Like, that was a deep class. Also, obviously, this doesn't count, but Ethan Wittenbach went in the 5th round. I know that teams just missed and I missed. I didn't say anything about it. I wasn't, I should have been paying attention a little more, but he had a really great inflection point where he just like his development just poof. And I think that that's something people forget about these guys. They're 17, 18 years old. It can happen. And that's why there is 7 rounds in a draft and not 2 like the NBA draft. It's because like there's so many great young players in the NHL, and I'm just waiting for the expansion teams. Once there's expansion teams, you're going to see more coverage about the draft, because just think about it. There's going to be so many more slots open, so many more you get the AHL affiliates, you get the just the junior teams going down to the list. Like, there's so many more leagues, so many more opportunities for the players that I can't wait till there's more expansions. I want the league to expand. Sorry, I'm thirsty, boys. But give me some more questions. I will answer any question. I appreciate all you guys for also being in here. We've had some great turnouts. Yesterday, we had over 1,000 people. Wow, that was a full hour already, and it flew by. Didn't even realize we were even close to an hour. Yeah, these streams just like fly by. But thank you guys for joining. Please like and subscribe if you guys can. I really appreciate you guys for even being here and stuff. So thank you. I kind of want to. I'm gonna share this. I want to share this screen. So,
but if we need to be I think I could be.
This is Caleb Maholtry.
A top line center for top 6 center and playing in kind of any scenario. That's what I want my game to be known for. Just how I can be. If we need a goal, I can be out there for the power play or for 6-on-5. But if we need to shut down somebody on the PK or on 6-on-5, defensively, I can be that guy. So there's a utility player that you want to put out in any scenario and that can win big draws for your guy. Well, I think I could be, a top line center for center and playing in.
I completely agree with him. I think that he can be that top line center. I think that he can just be one of the best, second line centers in the league if he does do that. If that is where he's slotted, but he has a lot of upside. That kid has incredible hands, really fast reactions, just good two-way center that has playmaking, the skill, the shot, the drive, royalty there. Like, this guy has done a lot in the OHL this year, so very exciting. And look at Cole Iserman's shot. Like, this guy can just score. Look at how fast those hands are, man. He's a magnet to the net. I want to actually show you a picture of or a video of his sniper. But look at this. Next year's going to be fun.
Joseph, une feinte au départ de
This is that kid's 6'5", Alexei Joseph. Here he's going to get the steal. Little stick lift there. Doesn't show his speed there, but look at that shot. That kid can snipe. I think there's one more clip in here. Yeah, I create these, so if you guys want one of a player, let me know. That's so effortless. I think he obviously looks the part. That 6'5" size is incredible. Obviously, you can see how great of an offensive player he is. I'm very excited for him. Very, very good player. Also, Sasha Boumediene models his game. Look at this one.
I like watching Jake Sanderson. I like watching Miro Heiskanen. I like watching Jake Sanderson. Those are two guys I feel like they're really good skaters and move the puck really well. And they're a good two-way defenseman. So that's kind of what I want to be too.
I know the Blackhawks were actually interested in him last year.
I think the biggest thing is I want to be a two-way defenseman. I want to be known to go out on the PK, block shots, and save the lead, whether it's with a minute left to save a lead or with a minute left to gain the lead. I want to be out there no matter what and play any spot on the ice that my coach needs. So yeah, I honestly want to be a big two-way defenseman that is not afraid to block shots, score goals, make hits, make big plays. So yeah, I just want to be an all-around player. I think the biggest thing is I want to be a two-way defense.
I love Matthew Schaefer. This guy just has it all. Like that was obviously before he was drafted, but that guy, like the NHL needs to make him one of the faces of the NHL. Like, he just has everything. Let's see. Yeah, drop your comments below. I'll get to them as quick as I can. I feel like if there's any players that you guys have questions on or anything like that, like definitely put them down below. And also, if you guys want to like join any of my free groups or group chats on X, let me know and I could send you the link to those. Is there anyone falling under the radar that you think will be a boom come draft day? Yeah, that's a great question. So I'm going to go scroll down. Well, one, I think Nikita Klepov, but two, I think William Hawkinson is getting very underrated. He already plays in the SHL and he has size, like 6'4" size. One of the older players in the draft, though. And you see like the 2 assists in 22 games played, NHL equivalent at 4.4. But at the same time, like you're not going to get the production out of a defensive defenseman. Kind of reminds me of like, I've said this multiple times, but like a Nicholas Hjalmarsson. I've said this in other streams and I won't stop saying that. Guy's a really good defensive defenseman that can pass. The vision is there. The vision or the upside for more. It's like a modern day Nicholas Hjalmarsson. Nicholas Hjalmarsson was one of the reasons the Blackhawks won all of those cups too. He was a very big reason. Vladimir Dravecchia is somebody that I've really liked. Undersized defenseman. Well, I wouldn't say undersized. I would say fair size, like 6 foot, 187 pounds. This guy actually played in the SHL for a little bit before he played in the OHL. And I like that. Obviously, only played 3 games, but he's a very talented player. On defense, too, right-handed defenseman. Played well with Czech at the World Juniors. These are not the updated ones. But, yeah, Jackson Cover is somebody that I really like. Let's see. Mikey Burchild. I'll say Mikey Burchild. This guy was top 5 in the NHL draft class 2 years out. And now he's fallen off like a cliff, but he's still 5'10". Like he can make it into the NHL. And he's one of the younger players too in the draft class, in 08 February birthday. So like putting up good numbers in the US, like the NTDP program, playing against UHL players. This is really good. They're one of the worst teams in the league. Like I think they're bottom in the East still. Blake Zielinski, I really like. I'm on the board for the USHL for the Johnny Gaudreau Award, and I actually nominated him. I thought that was he was a great nomination. Like he's a great person. I got to talk to him a lot at the USHL Fall Classic. He has had a good season with the Buccaneers, and there were people that were filling their seats to watch this guy play. I mean, it was a packed stadium whenever Blake Zielinski was playing. 50 games played, 25 goals, 27 assists, 52 points. I actually had to leave the USHL early because I had a medical emergency with my back. It was crazy. I had to actually get surgery. It really sucked. I drove there. It was like 10 hours. But that's kind of a story. Alexander Diorio, I kind of like this range. He's a really good player too. 81 points in 63 games in the queue. Tommy Bleal, 6 foot, 170 pounds. Obviously, he can gain more weight, but I think that this guy will be an NHL player. I like Dwayne Bucher last year in summer scouting of the 2024, 2025 prospects. Like he look like a Dave Bolin-esque player. I thought he was going to be more of a first-round pick. I really did like this guy. Thomas Trable has a 915 save percentage, 2.15 goals against average. Really do like that. I like taking a goalie every year if I would be a GM. Like, I think that would just be something you have to do with one of your day 2 picks. Let me see. There's one goalie in Russia that I really like. Obviously, as I scroll down it, Barabanov, really good player for Saginaw Spitfires. I'm actually going to throw him all the way up into my top 60. 91.68 games at 6'2" size, almost 200 pounds. This guy's going to be very close to me into that top 50. I think he'll be a second-round pick. I'm not sure why I have him 91 on this list. This guy's a baller, dude. This guy's really good. I think that there's probably question marks on his B game. Like, what does he do away from the puck? But that production is fantastic in the OHL. Why is he not getting first round consideration? Like, that's my question. This is a guy that's going to be a huge riser. I'm pulling him up. I'm putting him up in the top 50 probably. After I need to make some changes to my top 50, but at the same time, like, it's very, very hard right now because I feel like there's just a huge drop in so many different gaps. Like, Burrs Collins is somebody that I have way above everybody else, and some people's lists he's in the hundreds. I'm one of those guys that, like, on my rankings, you could see some guys that are not even on people's rankings, and like I'll put them in my like top 64, top 62, top 64. But sometimes, like, I rethink and I'm like, why is this guy here? I feel like my rankings change every day. I'll just like scroll and be like, why? Like, if Adam Valentini is 31 on my list, he's a first round pick. I don't think he'll be a first round pick, but for me, like, this is 3-5 years out, and this is a guy that I think can compete in the NHL. I just want to see how big he is, because on my list he's 5'11", but on Central Scouting he's 5'9", and there's a huge difference. So if he's 5'9", he's not going to be in this spot. But I like the talent, I like the skill profile, I like the playmaking skills. I think he's a good puck handler. Questions on his B game, but he did translate well to the NCAA. People thought that this was a really big mistake in the OHL. I think he made the right decision. People are going to say, like, oh, you know, that OHL thing's not going to, like, he's going to be off a lot of people's draft board. Like, who cares? He actually played really well in the NCAA. If Tynan Lawrence had this production, he'd still probably be in the top 5 discussions. Like, this is really good production in the NCAA. People didn't even think he was going to play for Michigan. Like, they thought, oh, where's he going to, he's not going to get any power play time. He's not going to do this, that, and a third. And it's like, dude, look, 25 points in 38 games for a guy that's 5'9", maybe. Like, the guy has it. I just don't know where he's going to get drafted. If he is 5'9", he's going to be outside of my top 40, because that 5'9", he's not like a Vigo Bjork, where he has elite traits that can overcome that size. Because if you are smaller, you need elite traits that help overcome the size. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Do you guys want me to do a mock draft? Tell me now. It doesn't seem like my guest was able to record today, so it might be one of the quicker streams, honestly. Trevor, do you have any questions? Are you still watching? Let me know if you guys do. 255 viewers. Obviously, this is a process. I just started live streaming, so always appreciative of anybody watching. But let me actually do a mock draft. I don't think I'm going to do a join mock draft. It doesn't seem like anybody in the chat is like active, so I don't want to like wait to just do one. So I'm going to do a draw. So it's going to be The Canucks second and the Flames first. So that's interesting. So I think the Flames would definitely go McKenna. If you grew up a Flames fan, this would be the pick here. If the Flames didn't take McKenna, I'd be very, very surprised. What is up, Mark? Mark is in the house. How you doing? Appreciate you for coming in and commenting. So we're going to be doing a mock draft. We're doing that now. And wait, what? I already screwed it up. All right, so we're redoing the mock draft because I don't know what I was doing. All right, so the Canucks and the Panthers got it. So let's do it. Screw it. We're doing a one round mock. You guys can do like up to 3 right now. So first pick for the Panthers, I'm going Gavin McKenna. I think you have to make that pick. It's just like if the Panthers have any shot at this, at the number 1 pick, take McKenna. Make people mad. And then I think the Vancouver Canucks would go Ivar Stenberg. They love their Swedes there. It's like a Swedish pipeline. And I think they could take him number 1 as well. So the Blackhawks would be in a position where they would probably try to trade up for one of the two. Maybe they go to Florida and it's like, hey, we'll give you back your first round pick next year for Gavin McKenna. Florida probably says no anyway, but kind of could be interesting. Give them the number 3 and their pick. So the Blackhawks would I would think Verhoff and then figure out what to do with Artem Levshunov and Sam Rinzel. For the Rangers, I could just see Chase Reed going there. Chase Reed wore red, white, and blue. It's the same jersey at the World Juniors. Chase Reed has a lot of upside, really good defensive prospect, 6'2", 48 points in 45 games played for the Sioux. And I love watching the Sioux. Brady Martin's a beast too. And he also hits really, really well. There's going to be a mock draft that I do where I'm loaded in all of my clips of these players because I have so many clips, like just their play, not like my interviews or stuff, but I'm actually going to like pick a player, show the clip, pick a player, show the clip, but I don't have that ready today. Today I went to the city and then just came back and I jumped on my stream ASAP for Calgary. Wait. Do you think Calgary goes Caleb Malhotra or Carson Carrolls? Anybody in the stream? What is up, Mark? Mark's good. Are you guys Trevor, are you still there? Let me know if you guys are still there. And then I have just comment. Let me know who's in the stream. Let's see. I would probably put Caleb Malhotra for Calgary at 5. And then for Boston, like I said, Albert Smits. I think that'd be a really good pick. I know somebody asked me about Boston's pick earlier. Not sure on Calgary. I'm a Hawks fan. You don't think that they would go Caleb Malhotra? They might go defense there. They definitely could. We have a Malhotra. Michael Zeta is saying Malhotra is his guest too. What's up, Michael? How you doing, dude? Then we have... Wait, we had another question. Let me see. Oh, who do you have winning the WHL, man? All right, so this is an interesting question. I think that you got a team like Prince Albert, who had a fantastic year, who has Braden Coots. They got Daxon Rudolph, who's obviously a top pick. You have the Medicine Hat Tigers, who have both the Ruck brothers, Andrew Basha, just really good. That line is insane, and they know how to do one thing, and that's score. Like they just score, score, score. I like the silver tips. You have DuPont there and the Carter Bear. I think that could be interesting. Prince George, obviously, is Carson Carroll's. That would be an interesting one. I would say it's a really great question. I love these questions. I'm going to say my final is going to be. I'm going to say Medicine Hat Tigers make it. And I'll say Everett Silvertips. I'm an Everett Silvertips guy. I love their jerseys. They've been extremely hot. Yeah, I'm going to say both of those teams, and I'm going to say Everett Silvertips are going to win. It's a great question. Any other junior questions, boys? Thanks for your interviews you've done with the Silvertips players. Love your content. Thank you, Kenny. I appreciate that. Are you a Silvertips fan? I actually didn't read that before I said that. I was on a different page. If you're a Silvertips fan, I love that. I can actually show you guys some of this interview I had with Landon DuPont. We got some really good stuff there. Let me just search the downloads. But the Carter Bear one was awesome because Carter Bear was at home. It was right after his injury, which was really unfortunate. But now he's fine. He was skating like a month or two after. And I asked him something and then about his dogs. And then his dogs immediately started barking, right? And then I was like, my dog Bear started actually howling because he heard. And I was like, Bear, stop. And he thought I was talking to him. So I always thought that was kind of funny. Really great player. I'll show some Landon DuPont clips right now for you guys. I'm putting them all in. Takes a little while. But this is also a new system. And hopefully I'm going to be at Blackhawks practice this week. Because I went there, but there's obviously no practice. And then I have one more of Landon DuPont. This could be a Landon DuPont show. I love the kid. Let's see. Oh, also, Landon DuPont here talks about Tynan Lawrence and Verhoff. I feel like this is an interesting one. So I'm going to give you guys some juicy clips. And if you guys are here for the live stream and you guys want any of these clips or pre-released clips, I have my whole pre-release Landon DuPont video. I can actually send you guys it first. I love my supporters so much. I'm so happy that people watch me, and I'm just so new to this, obviously, but it's I'm really thankful that people are even watching. So if you guys love it, I'll give you this stuff. I'll give you guys early access. Thank you, Mark. I use your website at times to do mocks. I absolutely love that. Thank you so much. I just published this 3 days ago, and the user feedback has been fantastic, man. Awesome. So thank you so much. AI suggests Malhotra for Calgary. That's how I figure stuff out. AI gives me info on what teams and writers are saying. You know what's actually interesting? I was thinking about this before I got on. There's some GM in some sport or some person that runs a team probably that's asking AI what the heck to do. I'm serious. I was thinking about this. There's some dude out there that's there's some guy running an organization in any sport that's probably hey, AI, ChatGPT, help me. Help me figure out how to get my team to be a winner. And I just think about that sometimes. AI is in so much. It's totally Calgary's coach was asking AI a bunch of crap. No way. Dude, see, I'm telling you. Hi, Anthony, dude. What's up, dude? He joined me for one of my first mock drafts. We do a join code. This one I'm not doing a join. If you guys want me to do one later on, I definitely will give you the code, Anthony, and we could do a mock together. I love doing this stuff. I'll finish up this mock draft and then we'll get into a new draft. But down below, like Anthony said, who's interested in joining me for a mock draft? It's going to be completely free. You just type in the code and then you use the website and we can pick together. We're going to pick against each other, but let me know if you guys want that code. I can send it in. Let's see. I'm a Silvertips fan and season ticket holder. I've been spoiled watching this team this year. So much talent. Dude, you got to love Casey Bryant, man. Casey Bryant's the man. Casey Bryant's the man. He's the voice of the Silvertips. Great guy. Like, me and him talk all the time. He obviously hooked me up with those DuPont and the Carter Bear interview, but just shout out. That guy's going to be in the NHL. There's some incredible young voices in this sport. I mean, just to name a few, but Ray Duthie from the Brantford Bulldogs, if you guys have not heard him, like, his calls are fantastic. Ezra Janello from the USHL, Muskegon, so good. Dana Gray from Rockford Ice Hogs, fantastic on the mic. I mean, some of those guys are just fantastic. Like, also a rising star that should be getting more credit and probably does from Utah Mammoth fan base, but like Nick Olchek, Eddie Olchek's son, incredible voice of the Mammoth. Very good stuff. Very great stuff. All right, sorry, I gotta close my water real quick. As a Hawks fan, I love Carroll's. Carroll's is really good. I think that he could be a replacement for one of the Blackhawks left-handed defensemen coming in. I know that I'm not sure who's going to be the odd man out, but there's going to be a conversation towards drafting a left-handed defenseman, and the fan base is going to riot and say fire Kyle Davidson. And it's like, can we stop saying that? Kyle Davidson has equipped this team with so many incredible prospects. Like, it's really hard to scout. It's really hard. These guys are too young. I mean, that's why the NFL has their draft to like 22, 23, because some guys are 24, 25. Like, it's so tough. You're projecting 5-6 years out. So give the Blackhawks time. Kyle Davidson, I don't want any other GM like being the GM of the Blackhawks. He is a great GM. Kyle Davidson has done so well. So I think that that's something. Sometimes at games, I will watch DuPont for a full shift. The way he reads and reacts is next level for a 16-year-old. This year he really stepped up physicality too. Okay. Like, I gotta show you guys Lander DuPont. Some of you guys might be like, what are you talking about? This guy is elite. I can't say generational because I hate people that say generational because I say it so much too. So I look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, Anthony, what are you doing? So he's very elite. Landon DuPont is very, very elite. I know people don't like the generational term. I like it. And I know I say it too much, and I'm sorry. But when it comes to Connor Bedard, Macklin Celebrini, and Matthew Schaefer, I don't know what to call those guys. I really don't. They're like generational light. I don't know. They're generational. I don't know.
Ozone face-off, and Tips won it, but Portland will clear it out of their own end. And Terrence Smith takes control. Over to his left for Jesse Heslop. Up ice for Vaughn. He'll spring DuPont. In with a breakaway. Landon DuPont. Pass stop. Kicked in. They score. Landon DuPont. Finesses it past scrim attack. Tips. Stick, and now Jake Gustafson holds on to it on the far side of the ice. He'll cross his own blue line, sends it through the neutral zone to Carter Matthews. Now Wilfley cutting in, center to pass, backhander. Oh, what a save by Miller. Gustafson.
Can you kind of tell me a little bit about, or played with, but Verhoff and a guy like Tynan Lawrence?
Yeah, they're great players. Keaton's having a great year in college. I talk to him every now and then, and he's such a great player. He's so big, and he has so much skill for how big he is. Like, it's crazy. Just playing with him. I wasn't his D partner, but I got a few shifts with him, and he was pretty dynamic out there. And then Tynan was unreal too. Like, he's so good with the puck, and he just controls the game out there. So it was pretty fun playing with them. And even off the ice, they're such fun guys to be around. So it was pretty cool.
And then now I'm going to show my Twitter because I have a Landon DuPont clip where he's talking actually about his players he modeled his game after. And I know Mark made a really good point, so I'll bring up his comments soon. But before I do, look at this, guys. Give me 1 second. I got to find it. I've tweeted so many clips. I'm going to share this tab. Got Vigo Bjork interview. I have an Ivar Stenberg interview. I have a Daxon Rudolph interview if anyone's interested in any of those. Kayla Malholcher interview. I've interviewed over 200 prospects in the last 14 months. So if any of you guys want to see that Carson Carroll's interview right here, I'll load all these clips in. Liam Greentree. Beckett Seneca. Keaton Verhoff, obviously. That's Nikita Klepov, 97 points this year in the OHL. I did a Blackhawks Connor Bedard jersey giveaway, and that was the winner with the jersey. That's pretty cool. Anton Frundell interview. I did the first Anton Frundell interview in English with him. This was awesome. So happy that his agent allowed me to do that. After his first 2 games, his agent texted me, he's like, Frondy's good, eh? I was like, I thought that was funny. So that's the clip. Where the heck is the DuPont? There it is. I found it. Who are some of the players you modeled your game after?
Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes, and a new young stud defenseman, Steve Boyum. I like him a lot.
Yeah, so you guys hear that? Zeev Boyum, dude. Like, I wanted to get to Mark's comment, but you guys are commenting so much. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Cross between Makar and Hughes. That's exactly who he said. Like, you know Puck, Mark. You know Puck. That dude is a joystick out there, and he's also a right-handed defenseman, which is going to elevate his draft stock or value anyway, but he's going to go number 1 or number 2 in that draft. Kenny agrees. He's obviously a season ticket holder for the Silver Tips. He does everything fast. He has the quickest stride. He could gain speed in a snap of the finger, man. Let me go and drop the link to the mock draft simulator because Anthony was wondering. Here you go. That's the link to the mock draft simulator. I created the mock draft simulator, so I'm just really proud of it, honestly. I continue to say this, but I created a prospect pool so that you get prospect pool tab. You can go up to any of your teams. Let's say you're a Blackhawks fan and you want to see how Vaslav Nestrasil is doing. 31 points in 34 games. AJ Spellisy, 32 points, 51 games. You could see his former career as well. Had 37 points in 62 games in 2024-25, I believe. Yes, I don't know why it's split like that. I think one of these is the playoff tab, but I'll make a separate thing for playoff tab. You get Nick Lardis if you want to see Nick Lardis, 13 points, 33 games played. If you guys are very interested, I just put it down below. Is that Facebook? No, this is X that I was showing, but I tried to go live on Facebook today. I have like 950 people there that I just made the account last week. So if anybody's interested and has a Facebook, I'll friend them. If anybody's on X, I'll friend them. We just hit 16,000 followers and now I have 16,700. So it's been a great week. I've gained like 2,000 followers in like the last week. We're really flying up, guys. Like this is, I hope to make this like one of the biggest communities in prospects And assistant captain in the Dub at age 16 speaks to his maturity. Also, Kenny, I'll leave you with this too. Let me go to the draft and the Don facts. So if you click the Don facts and you keep clicking, it'll tell you different things that I just had it. It'll tell you different things about these players, and I have a ton of them. So it's just randomly, but I wanted to get to one specific one for you because I got it during my interview with Landon DuPont that I have not posted yet. I have not posted the Landon DuPont interview. The projected number 1 pick in 2027, Landon DuPont. The Don heard he loves Denny's. Dude, he loves Denny's. It's his favorite restaurant. It's somewhere that he goes all the time. So you might run into him if you go to a Denny's in like near Everett. Like, that's kind of funny. Don, what are your thoughts on my last 3 comments? Let me go back up, Anthony, and I will check. Does DuPont have exceptional status like you saw with McDavid, Crosby, Ekblad? So exceptional status is something you do in juniors when you're like 14 and you could go. But I don't know if you're talking about like in terms of what I think of him. In terms of what I think of his talent, I think he's talent. He has the talent like Ekblad for defensive wise. I think that I wasn't there for Crosby. I'm too young for that. I was probably like 4, or 5 or whatever. I don't necessarily know. I can't tell you there. But with McDavid's hype was just insane. He even had like a sponsorship with like McDonald's immediately. So I don't think he has McDavid hype yet. But also McDavid hype's not fair to put on anyone. I watch him on Victory Plus. Victory Plus is really good. I know that Frank Saravalli has a good podcast on there. I don't know if you guys watched that, but I think he has a Victoria Plus one. I'm pretty sure. He does everything fast, quick stride. Sorry, I went up to look at his thing. Mark said he's watched them all. Is that on Facebook? Yep, we already did that. Down dirty for DuPont. Yeah, Trevor. What's up? Welcome back, Trevor. We got a lot more commenters now. It used to just be me and Trevor talking, but the past 3 streams we've had 1,000+ people. So yeah, we're growing, Trevor. DuPont wants to be a Canuck, apparently. I honestly don't even know. I would next time I see him, I'm gonna ask him what team he grew up watching. I might have asked him in the interview, but it's been I don't know. I don't even remember. Wow, the draft sim is so great without the noise now. Thanks, man. Dude, that noise was crazy. I also changed the font. Let me know what you think about the font. The font was inconsistent all over. Now it's bolder. I think it's better. So let's go back to the mock draft. For Winnipeg Jets, I think that they could. I actually talked to the Winnipeg Jets today. I interviewed Mark Scheifele and I talked to some other guy. I honestly did not know who he was. He didn't have his jersey on. But I went to go see Jonathan Toews practice. I got media credentials for that, and I was hoping that the Blackhawks were going to practice today, but they didn't. So I'm going to go hopefully to the next practice. It's an honor just to get media credentials, so you never know when you're going to get them. But I did get them today, and the Blackhawks canceled practice, so I still stayed to watch the Jets. And I talked to a lot of the Jets people and their social media guy, and it's pretty cool. But I honestly think that they would probably go in the route of a Carson Carroll's. I think that he needs to be taken in the top 7 at this point. Craig Button had him number 2 on his Craigslist, which I call it that. I don't know if he does. I saw it. Somebody used that when he was on a show, and I thought that's awesome. For St. Louis, they do need a center, but I don't see. I'm going to go right-handed defenseman. They had Radim Murka in their palms at the trade deadline. Obviously, everybody knows that Colton Parayko declined his no-trade clause, which is completely in his right. They're put in there for a reason. I don't know why people were getting upset with him. So right-handed defenseman Daxon Rudolph, they definitely want to increase that defensive prospect pool, and I think getting Daxon Rudolph would be a great pick. But man, is San Jose mad about that. I mean, I could see a scenario where if this is the case, San Jose trades a piece to the Blues to try to get a Daxon Rudolph because right-handed defenseman is exactly what they need. But obviously they don't do that. I don't think that they will take any of the forwards on the board, and they go with a Ryan Lynn. Ryan Lynn, right-handed defenseman, could fall. I will pull up his stats, but could fall because of the 5'11" size. But for the Sharks, you actually saw that they have Luca Cagnoni, and it could make them think twice, or it could mean that they like smaller defensemen as well. And this guy is, I don't know if you guys watched, but there was a game where JP Hurlburt stick lifted Ryan Lynn to score against the Giants with like a minute left in the game. But during that game, I thought that Ryan Lynn looked so good. Like, even though that happened at the end of the game, and I'm not going to put too much stock into it, he has so many traits. The offensive vision is there. Really good two-way defenseman. I think I wouldn't classify him as a defensive defenseman or give him like an elite defenseman like I would probably a Carson Carroll's, but he does a lot really, really well. And that size doesn't concern me because he is so thick. Remember when Connor McDavid came into the NHL at 5'10" and he had those tree trunks as legs? Ryan Lynn is kind of filled out exactly like that. The dude is big, but a lot bigger than people think. So if you guys are worried about his size, please go check out his videos. I'll actually post a video today, now that I'm saying it, about him. But I would say that, Don, being that my Panthers are probably going to be in the top 10, is there a prospect ranked very low that you wouldn't be an eyelash so my Panthers would pick at 6 because of the play fit? Yes, 100%. Great question, Anthony. I'm glad you're here because I was actually talking about this earlier, but I don't know if you heard. But for me, if the Panthers, oh my God, yeah, the Panthers won the lottery in this one. But if the Panthers say are picking 5 or 6, right? I think that obviously they would take a long look at a lot of things. But what I would do is I wouldn't take an Oscar Hemming here. I would trade back because you can accumulate a lot of assets and they don't have a pick next year. I think their next first round pick would be 2029 because, yeah, they traded both picks, obviously, if they take it this year. So I would go from, let's say I have the 6th pick, right? Albert Smits is there. Carson Carroll's is there. Daxton Rudolph's there. I would say, hey, Sharks, you want a defenseman? Come and get one. Give me a first or second round pick next year because the Sharks own a plethora of that. Go down to 9. In 9, I would select Oscar Hemming. Oscar Hemming would be a fantastic fit for the Panthers because he's a big boy, 6'4", one of the youngest players in the draft class, and he fills a need for the Panthers. Continue to develop elite talent that could play with an Anton Lundell on that third line, can play with when you're fully healthy, but put him on that third line and he's going to be an incredible player for you. I'm not saying like you're getting a superstar here, but at the same time, like, this is a player I can totally see being a Brady Martin Light-esque player where he turns your third line into a second line. LOL, that's awesome, Kenny. LOL, I got Calgary, McKenna number 1 overall. Then Stenberg fell to 18 in your simulator. No way. What the heck? To Calgary again? Wait. Were you doing the Prospect Dawn mock or did you only select one team? Because you could do select all. Let me know what you did, Phil. I'm very interested in that. That's really funny. That would be great. It's obviously it's not even going to happen, but DuPont was granted exceptional status last year to play his rookie year last year. He is now 16, I believe. I will watch them all. Glad you mentioned Carter Bear too. Amazing resilience from him to recover from his injury. It was a partially lacerated Achilles. A skate got him really bad. He was actually on the ice a couple months later, which was just in itself incredible. I think that it goes to show how strong he is. Carter Bear actually didn't even look at any of the prospect rankings. He didn't know when he was going to get drafted, and he ended up getting drafted, I believe, 13th overall to the Red Wings. I know went to the Red Wings. I just don't know if it was 12 or 13. No, it was 13 because Kindle and Nesbitt both went above him. And I thought that was just a fantastic fit. That kid is so good, so dominant. He told me, actually, I don't know if you know this, if you've been watching my content, Kenny, but he told me that his player comp for himself was a Brandon Hagel. And I just love that. You need guys like that to win. That's why the Lightning have been so dominant lately. and they look really good this year. I would not be surprised if the Lightning won the Stanley Cup again. It could be their year. Zeev Boyum is such a random player unless this was pre-trade. No, dude, Zeev Boyum is just think about it. Like, these guys that are younger are watching the top prospects as well. They watch content just like any of these other guys. So I feel like Zeev was just so fun to watch, especially in college. Like, I would have totally looked up to him too if I was coming out. And this was like my draft year was in like 2 years. I know somebody said like their player comp was like Matthew Schaefer or someone. Like, people are looking like next year's prospects are all going to be saying Matthew Schaefer as defenseman. Like, it's just kind of how it works. Don, are these guys that are rated 15 to 36? That's why you wouldn't bat an eyelash if my Panthers dropped them at number 6 because they fit their style of play. Oscar Hemming to me is like, I think 14th in my rankings, maybe 15. I believe he's 14. So I think you need to trade down a little bit if you are in top 6 because you just lose all the value. But also Brady Martin was ranked like 14th at this time last year and he went 5th. So it's kind of just like we'll have to reevaluate after the combine because you hear a lot more stuff there. And I'll be at the combine hopefully. Like, I was there last year. I don't know why I wouldn't be, but DuPont was the 3rd Canadian defenseman granted exceptional status. Mark, this dude, DuPont is freaking fantastic. Really great player. How about Korchinski to St. Louis? Korchinski to St. Louis could be really interesting. I'm not really sure if the Blackhawks are ready to move on yet. It's going to be dependent on these next couple games, and I think they gotta wait to see if you get value in a trade. I think that anybody could be on the trade block, but Korchinski is that one guy where it's like, I really want the Blackhawks to wait. He has so much offensive skill in the power play. He's great. For St. Louis, Red Wings pick. Let's see. St. Louis is 3 picks this year. They have the Avs pick, I believe, and then where's... Okay, so their pick is at 20 here. Wait, why is... Okay. It's a weird logo. Let's see. Nikita Klepov could fall. He's higher in my rankings than consensus, but I really do just like the upside. When you have 3 first-round picks and then you have multiple second-round picks, one thing you can do is trade up, obviously, but I think that could be an option for them to try to select 2 players, 2 high-end players, because I think there is a drop-off after probably pick 11, maybe 12. Yeah, I would say 12 is kind of what there's like multiple drop-offs, but yeah, I would say 11. I'm a big Vigo Bjork guy. I would try to trade up for Vigo Bjork. If you're St. Louis, you kind of need that star power there too, and they're not afraid to take Swedish players. They obviously took Otto Stenberg. And then the player I would say St. Louis could take too if they don't go right defenseman right out of the gate is Pipparainen, because Pipparainen has just as much upside as some of those defensemen at the top, like some of these guys, Daxon Rudolph, and it's because like if he hits, he's going to be an incredible defenseman, but the floor is just in question. Like, what kind of floor is this guy gonna have? Because you don't want to take a guy like this like 10, but you want to take this guy in the 20s and hope he turns into a guy you take in the 10. Ryan Lynn will be a player. He is physical and must be thick because he does use his body. He is very beefy. I feel like that's one of the things. Like, it helps his upside, and it helps his floor case too. You read my DuPont comment, and the fact I'm going to watch all your interviews. Thanks for doing them. Oh, of course, man. I appreciate it, dude. Like, I didn't really understand how to live stream. This is like my 5th live stream, maybe 6th. And I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing or talking about. So when I finalized my draft, I was like, cool. But I didn't think people were going to turn out and be so supportive on the interviews and stuff. I've been doing interviews for a while now. And, I think I'm definitely just like trying to post as much content as I possibly can of my interviews. So it really means a lot that you guys watch and actually like my stuff. It's really incredible. I did a mock. There was an error with Rudy Bars Lincolns. He got auto picked for my team, then showed up every 4 player. Okay, this happened to somebody else. I'm going to take a look at this. Fudge. I wonder what that is, but we'll get to the bottom of that. Thank you. I'll edit it as soon as I get off of this. But I really appreciate this. I need user feedback. That's kind of what we need to do. This happened to someone else, so that's already 2, so it's a problem. Hagel is such a great comparison for Bear. Yeah, I completely agree. It's a player that can play on the top line, can be a contributor for a top line. I also like the Brandon Saad too. That's mine for him too, because like, and he also has a really good B game. He's super gritty. He has a really good motor. When you watch him play, he just never stops moving. He never takes a shift off, and he has that offensive skill. Bear and Hagel are both players that never take a shift off. Dude, literally should have just read your comment 100%. Love that you just said that. Korchinski is out of waiver exemptions next season. That's a big one. Yep. There's going to be a decision to be made this year what you're going to do with Korchinski. I say you keep him. You let him play the entire year next year. You see what you got. Like, the value might not even be there anyway, but even if it's like a 3rd round pick, don't do it. Like, don't take a 3rd or 3rd round pick. You have so many picks upcoming. You only have 50 contracts you can sign. You already signed him. Let him play it out. Let him play it out. You gave Reichel a lot more time. If the Blackhawks give up on Artie, any return he returns a 1st round pick in 2027 or 1st round pick at all. Yeah, Trevor, if Artem Levshinov's value was going for a Matthew Nyes, I think that he could get 2 or 3 1st round picks. Not 2 or 3 1st round picks, but the value of that. I think Matthew Nyes is worth 2 1st round picks, not 3. I don't want this to be collected. Artem Levshinov would not go for 3 1st round picks, but I think that he could go for like 2 late 1st round picks. I think that's where Nyes' type of. I think Nyes would go for like the 11th pick and then like another pick. So I feel like he could be had for 2, but also the Maple Leafs would be selling low because Nyes is a really good point producer. He tied for Brady to Chuck last year in points, and he's a really good playoff player. Any thoughts on how the Kraken may look to build moving forward? As a fan, things look bleak. Well, Kenny, I had dinner with Jake O'Brien's dad, and Jake O'Brien's obviously one of the top prospects now for the Kraken. He was the 7th overall pick, and we were like talking, and there's a lot of hope for that organization. There's a lot of excitement in the building. I feel like it's because they've drafted. Actually, I wish I could go to the. I know I might bail on this and just. All right, I'm going to bail. We're going on to see the Seattle Kraken page. Yes. So here it is. This is the prospect pools tab. You can see every single prospect in your pool. Let's go to Jake O'Brien. Jake O'Brien is one of my favorite prospects in the entire NHL. Obviously, I'm not even biased because I loved this guy way before like I knew his family and stuff, but Jake O'Brien, 93 points, 53 games. This is a guy you build your like a line around. This is a guy that you put in as your 1C in the future, in my opinion. I think that he has 1C potential. They've done really well with taking best player available in a multitude of aspects. Like Shane Wright comes to mind. Obviously, Shane Wright, I think, is a really good player. Probably not really, but I think is a good player and can really be a center in the NHL for a very long time, but he's not a number 4 overall pick. Like you have Saleh, who has been really, really good in his career. I wish the career starts are coming up. Like, look at what he did at the World Juniors. People were very excited. Czech was not like anything special, and he still put up those numbers. He has a really good B game, so I think that he can be a really good third line player. Carson Rankoff, I'm hoping for more. He had a great year with the Steelheads last year, one of the top scorers in the OHL last year, overshadowed by a guy like Porter Martone, but he had a really good season. And then I'll go to they need to select defense. The last 2 years they've selected since their inaugural season in 2021, they've taken offense every single time. They've taken forward. So they need a defenseman. You need to buff up this defensive pool. I am a big fan of Blake Fiddler. I think Blake Fiddler is a really good defensive prospect. I don't know why it's not showing his. Oh, he's 6'4", but it should be showing it here. I gotta fix that. But when you get a 6'4" defenseman with this much like production, I like that. Obviously, he's not going to really give you a lot production wise. I think he could be on that like second pair, maybe your fourth defenseman in the NHL. I think that's what you're kind of looking for. But you need more here. You kind of just need more. Let's check out their NHL roster as well. You guys can all do this on the website, but go to Seattle Kraken here. They have Matty Beniers, which I really like, 24 years old. Berkeley Catton is one of my favorite players. I have a bunch of clips with him, talking to him, so I'll start dropping those down too. I kind of need to go away from just like posting draft players and post more of my stuff with actual NHL players that have reached the NHL too, but I've just been so locked in on the NHL draft coverage. But 15 points in 56 games. This is not anywhere close of what you're going to see out of the best of Berkeley Catton. He's a ton of skill, really good playmaker. He is a junior Hall of Famer. Oscar Fisker Mulligard was a player that had a lot of floor coming out of the draft, and I feel like a lot of like he's actually had a better start to his NHL career than I thought. But 2 assists in 5 games. I don't know how these gone. I've not watched his play at all in the NHL. So I'm going to have to do some Seattle Kraken live viewings. But at the same time, like I really did like this player coming out of the draft. I think he was like ranked somewhere in my 30s, but still a first round pick. I'm a big fan of like Shane Wright, even though I'm not sure what his upside would be, but I think that he can reach 40, 45 points in a really good role, maybe even 50. You guys did it correctly. I think this team's stuck in no man land a little bit, but after you get a couple more drafts, you did well with the Capo Caco deal. I mean, he's gonna hit. He might have hit like 450 or 60 points had he played the entire year. So he only had 14 points in 30 games for the Rangers, which is almost 0.5. I think they gave up on him way too early, but at the same time, this is going to be a really good player for you guys. Obviously, he was drafted that high and had a lot of hype. Always still like Joey Decord. I think the best is yet to come for him too. Even though he's 30 already, goalies take a long time and they play a long time. So I believe in the Kraken. I just did a draft where I traded down with San Jose. I got their 2 first-round picks, and I got Oliver Savanto and Malte Gustafsson. Thoughts? Okay, so who were you? Oh, you were Panthers. Gotcha. So the Panthers were probably in the 6th spot. So you got... Who would you have gotten? Let's go to the standings so that I can see it here. Go to Tank Race. Panthers were in the 5th spot. You traded the 9th to get the 9th pick and the Oilers pick. Where the heck are the Oilers? So 28. So you went down 4 slots and picked up the 28th pick. I love that. That's great. Great value right there. Absolutely really good stuff. I want to start making the draft lottery or the mock draft where you're able to trade the prospects that are in those systems, but it's just me implementing every single prospect so that we create a database where you can actually trade with anybody. Like you can trade Berkeley Catton for a first round pick. You can do any of that. So I'm really excited for that. And then it could show you like the organizational grade of what you increased. I just thought about that. So kind of interesting. I think about stuff and then I implement it into it. That's the good thing about being able to like code it yourself and stuff. So and produce it yourself. So really like that trade. I think going down from 5 to 9 would be essential if you're going to get a guy like Oliver Savanto or Oscar Hemming. Anybody? Okay. I know you are like really hot right now. I don't know what happened. You were in the sun way too long, buddy. But yeah, Malte Gustafsson is really good too, and Vigo. He's actually Vigo Gustafsson's brother, who got drafted in the draft, I think second round to the Predators in 2024. So a lot of people forget about that, but Gustafsson has a lot of upside and he has a good floor. Go get water, bud. Let's see. For me, okay. All right. There's just going to be some little bugs here and there, and I just really need all of you guys to tell me when there is. When does the waiver exemption start? I'm assuming July or June. I actually don't know. I would need to look that up. I was just saying the drop off from 3 to 4 was huge. It is huge. No, I think the drop off from 2 to 3 is huge. Because if you're thinking about the drop off from 3 to 4, I don't think there is one, because I think there's a conversation now if it's Verhoff, Chase Reed, Carson Carrolls, or Albert Smiths. I have my personal opinion. I think Verhoff, and then it's a little gap, and then a bunch of the other defensemen in Malhotra, and Belchez. But I think from 2 to 3 is huge. I don't think 3 to 4 is very huge. Is there talk that the Blackhawks are souring on Artie? I've not heard that. I think that they're happy with his development. He's a young guy. He's played in he's made a lot of jumps recently in his career. I'm a big Artie guy. I obviously, wanted Davidov. I'm not going to lie to you because he's on the Blackhawks, a team that I grew up rooting for. But at the same time, I think this is a guy that has a lot of upside. He should have been a top 10 pick, and just wait. He's way too young. He's way too young to say anything, and I think that he's shown a lot. And I think if you put Artie on a really good team like the Lightning right now, he wouldn't be making the Artie mistakes. It's just a lot of his mistakes are being exposed because he's on the second worst team in the league, and it's tough for him. If Vancouver somehow drops to 3 and the picks their AHL coach's son, that right-handed defenseman is going to be available 100%. This is referring to Kayla Malhotra. Manny Malhotra is the coach of the Abbotsville, the AHL affiliate of the Canucks, and they obviously just won the Calder Cup last year, and there's a lot of talk surrounding Manny Malhotra being the coach of the Canucks. For me, I would think that this would be a really good option. Kayla Malhotra should be in the top 5. He has shown the upside, the 1C potential, the playmaking, the scoring ability, the hands, the fast reaction times, the always being in open space. He can play drive, and on his line, there's not as many high-end forwards on his line. I know Dennis is good, but at the same time, he's not playing with Merrick Vanacker or Adam Banach, which I kind of want to see Adam Banach and Kayla Malhotra play, because I know Jake O'Brien could kind of do it with anybody. But there's a reason why, because Caleb Malhotra could hold his own anyway. Jake O'Brien can too. That's not what I'm saying, but they didn't need to help him out in a way. And Jake O'Brien doesn't need help. That's not what I'm saying. But Malhotra is a play driver, and once he gets more skill on his line too, which he will when he leaves the Bulldogs, because the Bulldogs have 4 elite 4Cs, so they had to pick which forwards to actually put on each one of their line, because they have Luchenko, they got Jake O'Brien, they have Caleb Malhotra, and I'm missing one more. But they have 4 very good centers. So the fact that Caleb Malhotra is running that line and is second in points on the team when Merrick Vanacker also has 47 goals, it's pretty impressive. But it just so happens that there's a right-hand defenseman that should be drafted 3rd. That's Verhoff, 100%. The thing about Vancouver is Vancouver could go with the Caleb Malhotra pick at 3. And it could also not just be about Manny Malhotra, because this is all talk if Manny Malhotra is the coach, but it's also about Vancouver is probably going to be the worst team in the league next year. are you planning on getting DuPont? Like, are you gonna go with the 1C and then go get DuPont next year? And obviously it's a question mark, but say they get the second or third pick next year. You get Alexei Joseph right now, who's 6'5" center, or you could get the third pick, which is Carter Meyer or Nazar from Russia, who's incredible and big too. So like that class is gonna cook. That class might be better. Like I don't know. That class is awesome. 2027. Cool to see Jake O'Brien stay in the CHL despite the hype and players jumping to the NCAA. I really do like this too. I think that like he likes it there. There's no real reason for him to leave yet. I'm not sure what he's going to do next year though, but I like it. I like Brantford too. Berkeley Catton has been fun to watch. Think that he has a bright future. He definitely does. He definitely does. If the Kraken need defenders, can you get 2 first rounders for Kevin and Artie? What would your trade package be if we pick Verhoff? I think you have to seriously revisit. If you take Verhoff, you're taking a right-handed defenseman with top pair upside. You're taking a guy that you think is very elite. You have to revisit the Leafs trade with Nyes. I'm not sure. I wouldn't want to trade Artie, but if there's any way where the Panthers don't make the playoffs or don't get their pick, right, and they pick at 11, but the Toronto Maple Leafs do, and they're at 5, right? They just sneak it out. They get the 5th picks to the Bruins. It doesn't transfer to the Bruins. Then you go Nyes in the 11th pick for Artie and 5. Actually, I feel like Nyes, I don't know who has more trade value, but Artie and Nyes might have very similar trade value, but it's just like Leafs want to get younger and cheaper. I'm not really sure. I would trade Korchinski before Artie, but I don't want to trade either one. But if you get Verhoff, that was the question. Like, I don't know. That's tough. You hit the nail on the head, stuck in no man's land. I just did another one also where I traded down from number 1 with San Jose. I got Oliver at 9, Adam at 12, Novotny. So we got Oliver Savanto at 9, Adam Novotny at 17, and Klepov at 23. So I really like this. For me, I would actually take in Klepov at 17 and Adam Novotny at 23. So you got great value with Klepov. I need a prospect on like AI ranking to say like what like the trade value or the draft value of what you got, like A, B, C grade. Like Klepov, that's an A+. For Oliver Savanto, that's probably like a B+ for me. And Adam Novotny, that's an A-. Like this is a really good pick. This is a really good value for a guy like Adam Novotny that I think is one of the safest players in the NHL draft. We have a lot of questions. So that's what happens when you don't get the Vegas treatment. I remember when Arizona joined and they were so awful. Same with Winnipeg. What is this referring to? Oh, no man's land. Yes. Very, very true, Trevor. San Jose end up drafting Albert Smits at number 1. It did. It did in the mock draft. That's crazy. I would laugh. It would be totally Vancouver to drop down both. Yes. Yeah, I think it would be. Well, Vancouver has a 57% chance at drafting third. 55% chance of drafting third. The Hawks fall to 4 and Vancouver passes at Verhoff, picking at 3. Who are you picking? If not, do you trade to next year or back for someone else? I'm picking Verhoff. 100%. I'll figure it out later. You got to pick best player available. Got to. All right. Does anybody want to do this? And let me know if you guys are still in the comments. Can you just comment like hi or something? I want to see who's here. If you guys want to do this mock draft, let me know if you guys do. Let's see. I'll wait. Nice. Boris says he's in. Hell yeah. I'll join in on the mock. Heck yeah, boys. This White Sox game is kind of boring. Trevor, what do you think of the White Sox this year? When they had like Luis Roberts, Eloy Jimenez, Jose Altuve, or no, I'm sorry, Jose Abreu, that pitching staff, I thought they were going to be the best team in the league. Luis Roberts, is Klepoff a two-way guy or is he more of a skilled guy? He's more of a skilled guy, but he actually played defense growing up, which a lot of people don't know. He's definitely more of a skilled guy, though. He had 97 points. He has a lot of upside. Klepoff is more offensive than two-way. I'd have to get on the mic. It's way too much for YouTube. No worries. Klepoff is more skilled, can make his own room, and not afraid to be physical despite only being 6 foot. Very true. Really good. I'm going to drop the code right now. Once I'm going to do a video. So doing a media, I'm going to put a media asset on there so that there's a video. I have like, this is like a commercial break, but I'm just going to show you a video. And then I got to pee and then I'll come back. I'll send the code. So give me 1 second. Let's see.
I was talking to your head coach, Colton St. Clair, and he actually said that, you remind him a little bit of Macklin Celebrini. Can you kind of go into who your player comp for yourself is?
Yeah, I try to say one of the guys I do say is Macklin Celebrini because he's obviously taken a step this year, but even growing up at Chicago, I watched him BU and now at the Sharks. He's always obviously been able to put up points with all his skill, but he doesn't cheat the game. He really takes pride in winning those 50-50 battles and not giving any other team any offensive opportunity. I feel like that's one of the big things and why he's having success and why he'll be so successful in the NHL for so long, because he's not all there about points. He cares about winning, and I feel like that's one of the main things I see in him.
All right, welcome back. I am back. Need a quick second. I'm going to send code now. My dog thinks it's over. Hey, bud. He's a very good show dog. He definitely leaves me alone when I'm recording, but when I get up, he doesn't know what's going on. Buddy. Okay. Give me a sec. Sorry, bud. He loves me so much. Can't complain. Going to the code. And then Kenny. Hey, Kenny, you want to join this mock? We're going to do this mock. Here's the code. Thoughts on Torts getting hired? I don't like it. I don't understand firing Bruce Cassidy with 8 games left during a playoff push. But we will see. We will see. That's the code to get into the draft. But I'll answer your questions that are in the comments. Marner being a center is the worst possible thing. They lose 50% plus possession when he takes faceoffs. I mean, 50% is good, but I'm not sure what his faceoff percentage is. Trevor, can you tell me? We have 2 people in already. Don, between Russian and the Eastern European countries, who was the starting to catch up with Scandinavia and the United States in terms of developing guys who could produce play on both sides of the ice? I think the SHL has produced some of the most well-developed offensive players and two-way players, I would say. I do believe that would kind of be the answer. I'm going to post this on X as well, so that if people want to join the mock draft, they can. Give me 1 second. Wow. Marner is 40% from the face-off this year. I think he should be a winger, honestly, though. I think it fits his skill set more. Just going to post this in. I don't know if people will join from X, but put it in just in case. So we have Kenny, Boris, TD, Taze is there. I saw Taze today. I'm trying to enter. Did you sign in as guest again? Is it's still not working? This should be working. It's working for the other people. Yep. Trevor said got to become a guest. If you do, hit the code in, Anthony. Control Shift N. How does that work? Okay, yeah. I have to go to Chrome because I don't want to make a new thing because then we'll have to do a code again. I made that mistake yesterday. Somebody did just join. Okay. That did not. It just beeped for no reason. All right. Give me 1 second. Just trying to help Anthony get back in. Just copy the code. It looks like 0M3U, but if you can go to the comment and then copy it if you can. So 790M3U. Like 0. Do you have a Discord server? I do. I could put it in the chat. I don't know if you're on X, but let me know. So I'm going to try. All right, I'm going to share this one so that I can walk you guys through it if you guys do want to. It's taking a while. All right, I'm going to share this screen now. So I'm going to put it on the stage. All right, so this is a different one in Google Chrome. You want to like name yourself like hockey something, and then you'll get access. You can join the code, and then the code is the one I said, and then it'll get you in. Does that help, Anthony? I was finally able to join. Awesome. What was wrong with it? Let me know if there's like a bug. All right, so we're gonna go live with this now. Everybody's in, and for people that are watching, anybody that you select, that's who you keep. So it's gonna X out for the other people, and they can't get in. But if you missed out and you want to continue to do it, obviously you can join the next one. Clearing the benches, thank you so much. Enjoying your content and all of your effort you put in. It very much appreciated. I really appreciate that. Thank you for your kind words, man. I really appreciate that. Are you on X? Let me know. Anybody who's on X, I'll follow back. We just hit 16,700. Wait. Why did it just start? Okay, I don't know why it just started. Hopefully we can go back. Nobody's in. I might have hit something. My God. All right, I'm sorry. We have to do it again. I shouldn't have went to the other page. This is the new code. I'm sorry, guys. Let me know if you get the new code. We had 5 people in last time. That's the code. OR0R10AN. I know. Honestly, if we draft a lot together, we should just go on a Twitter group page, and then I can send it to you there, and you guys can just copy and paste it, because you can't copy and paste it from the comments, I don't believe. It should be able to, but you can't. Sorry, Anthony. And then we had one more person in there as well. So we're waiting on 2 people. Obviously, if you wanted to draft, you still can get in. I don't know what happened last time. So we're just waiting on Anthony. But once you get in, just click as many teams as you want. If we have 5 people, we can each do 6. And if you ever want to do this with your friends, tell your friends about it. It's cool feature. Let's see how many days we have until the NHL draft lottery. Still 36. And obviously, if you guys see the scrolling scores, there's the Islanders Penguins games on right now. Okay, cool. My Discord's not on my computer, so I have to do it on my phone. But after the stream, I'll send it to you. If you guys, the Discord's not as active once we get going more to the draft season. It's gonna get active. But if you guys want the link to the Discord, I can try to get it to you now. I could just do that here. Let's see. Oh, yeah. All right. I've just been doing it on the StreamYard app. All right, Anthony's in. All right, so I'll put this in soon, but let's do the draft settings and then click teams real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then somebody can get 6, and then the other person can get 6. There's just 5 of us, so we can do that. All right, Taze is picking. Boris is picking. Anthony, you could pick who wants to be the Blackhawks. And then Kenny, you got 0 teams. You got 4, 5 teams, 6. All right. Why? Thank you so much. Of course. Let me follow back if I haven't. I don't know. Yeah, anybody that follows me, I'll follow back for sure. All right, Boris is on the clock. Down on the bottom, it's some auto thing on the previous page. All right, that wasn't on yesterday, so I think it just happened when there's some error, so I just got to fix that. Not sure why it's doing that, but after every pick, there's going to be a Don fact. My Hulcher's uncle is Basketball Hall of Famer Steve Nash, Elite Bloodline. I also need a mic holder. I don't have one yet. And then TD Taze is picking up, so Trevor's up. But if you guys do like the content, I really appreciate it. If you can like and subscribe. Wow, we have 19 people watching on YouTube. It's pretty cool. We're like Mr. Beast. All right, now we lost 16, sorry. I'm a terrible. Like and subscribe if you guys do like. If you don't like, unfollow and unsubscribe. It's kind of how it goes. I just put the Discord in the link. I feel like McKenna will be a bust if the Canucks draft him. Well, what is up, Michael? How are you doing? First post on the stream. Florida, he stole my guy. Nikita Klepov at 3? Holy, who did that? That's crazy. Let me go to the comments again. I don't know why. No one might have taken Chicago. We might have to reset and then everybody pick a team as soon as possible because there's a clock for some reason. No. Okay, wait. I know what to do here. So I'm going to be picking for the Blackhawks. All right, now you're picking. This is the Blackhawks pick, but Trevor, you're picking now. For some reason, that works. But I just don't want us to exit out. Ivar Stenberg was picked for the Canucks. Trevor, does it say that you can pick, or do I have to do it? I might have to do it. What team? I might have the Predators. All right, so I'm up. I'm going to pick Keaton Verhoff. This is the Blackhawks pick. I'm not sure why it does that, but there's this bug at the start of the lottery that's kind of screwing with things. Wait, like for real? Yeah, the Canucks definitely need scoring for sure. I think I mean it would be McKenna or Stenberg if they were 1 or 2. I think they would go Stenberg 1 maybe. Don, I have a question. Why won't I trade it down with Vancouver? It auto picked for me. It auto picked for you? So for some reason, well, okay. For some reason, there's a couple bugs today with the mock draft. It might have done it when I was updating because yesterday we had a good mock draft, and I will have to look into them after the stream. For your question, Benjamin, is McKenna better than Stenberg though? So Stenberg has a higher floor in some GM's eyes, I think, probably scouting people. And I don't know if you could go wrong with either Stenberg or McKenna. McKenna has a lot of upside, but the weaknesses lie in his play on 5-on-5, but he played better second half of the year. Again, I have to do this. Obviously, there's a bug, but it's only because we didn't select all of the teams. This should be an auto pick. So for Nashville, I'm going to take Ethan Belchez. I mean, this would be a Winnipeg Jets pick, but for OTC, I don't know. Taze, are you still? Can you pick? It says OTC, but are you up? If not, I'll trade the pick again to the Preds. Boston would be hyped to get Reed. That would be a really good one. Do you have a trade system between people? I was under the assumption that I was only able to trade with myself. No, you could trade with others. Where did my pick go? I think it said OTC, so I might have picked for you, but we have to just fix this. I have to fix this. I could do it live, honestly. Trevor, are you able to pick? Wait, no, I thought it didn't let you, so I picked. I'm sorry. We'll do another one after this. I'm gonna try and fix this now. But Trevor, are you up? You're still okay. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm updating the mock draft for next time. OTC. All right. So I just put in the changes. So once we get out of this, I can re-implement them. But like I said, this is day two of this being live. So I am sorry. There is a couple things, but this only happened because we didn't select teams. We didn't select all the teams, but it was because there was a timer. So I'm taking out the timer in the bottom, which there shouldn't have been one anyway. All right, so I'm Nashville again, but this is for the Devils. So Albert Smits. Is this somebody's pick? This is no one's pick either. I don't know why it's doing this. Thank you guys for staying patient. I really appreciate it. I'm just trying to find out the reason. All right. So for the Flyers, I don't think Daxton Rudolph would be here, but if he was, that'd be a quick pick. And then for some reason, the Jets are up again. Wait, you're the Jets, right, Trevor? Yeah, you could pick anybody, whoever you want. Sorry, guys, there will be an update to this. Trevor, you're, I believe, on the clock. Let me know if you're not. This is the second day in the row that NHL grabbed the Islanders game, and I can't watch it. They also made it so I could not watch the Blackhawks yesterday. That really stinks, man. Yeah, ESPN Plus is awesome, though. I think I know why it's not letting us. Thank me later. Your pick. You're able to pick. I'm picking Oliver because the Jets need a center. Did you pick already? Is it letting you? It's not updating on here. Yeah, let's exit out. I'm gonna put in these new changes. I don't know what. I know what's wrong with it, but it was just that we didn't select all the teams. But I want to put in these new changes. All right, so there was an internal counter. All right, we're going to implement these new changes and see if this fixes it. Just give me 1 second before I send in the code because I want to put these in. While I'm waiting, can you guys want to do Ask Me Anything? Wait, what? YouTube crashed? Yeah, let's do an Ask Me Anything. Yeah. Ask Me Anything right now. We're resetting until this file updates. We're going to go back to the mock draft simulator. I'm going to put out a code soon. Right now, we're just going to go to the standings, the tank race, and Ask Me Anything. Let's do it. We keep going back and forth from like 388 or 388 people watching live. I'm so confused. I don't think so. We're going back and forth. Can we do create a mock group and do it on that? What do you mean? So on YouTube it's only 17 or whatever, right? But on the top left it says, oh, these are live viewers. What? We have 375 people live on X and 17, now 13 on YouTube. Wait, I had 1,000 yesterday. I didn't know they were live viewers. Holy crap. My trade Korchinski to St. Louis for their Red Wings first round pick. Doesn't St. Louis do it on our do I need a sweetener? Korchinski wouldn't go for a first round pick at this point. The public draft rooms. Yes. We'll do that. I did not know that these were live. I did not know there's 379 people live watching me right now on X. That's crazy. What are you guys doing? Or does it not save when you exit out? So the file is ready. So I'm going to implement this file. Wow. So when we had 1,000 people live, like that was 1,000 eyeballs. That was crazy. I thought it was just like the viewers that have tuned in. But it's not. So all 400 people watching right now, what is up? Hi guys. The stream screwed up, so good time to be watching me. Live watching you doing tech support. I know. The one time it's like, oi. Yeah, but this is the mock draft simulator. It works 100% of the time. Don't look at the video. It's lying. It's AI. Oh my gosh, this file is still on 0%. Okay, let me try this again. Okay, while I'm doing this, I will show you guys a video because it's taking a while and we have 400 people in here. So here is, which one should I do?
Can you
Here is
tell me a
Landon.
little bit about or played with, but Verhoff and a guy like Tynan Lawrence?
Yeah, they're great players. Keaton's having a great year in college. I talk to him every now and then, and he's such a great player. He's so big, and he has so much skill for how big he is. Like, it's crazy. Just playing with him. I wasn't his D partner, but I got a few shifts with him, and he was pretty dynamic out there. And then Tynan was unreal too. Like, he's so good with the puck, and he just controls the game out there. So it was pretty fun playing with them, and even off the ice, they're such fun guys to be around. So it was pretty cool.
Well, my dog rejoined the stream. His name's Jack. And for some reason, the file is not updating. I think it's because I'm on live. But we're just going to continue to go with this, but we have to select every team. So we're going to go back to draft. We're going to create a room. And then this is the new code. Has only one L. And actually, the L is pretty seeable. So yeah, I'm going to have to reset my computer after. This is not for coding. The draft is frozen. Okay, now it's good. Now it's good. Who is talking? I am talking. Oh, that was Landon DuPont. That was Landon DuPont. Here's the code. I'm gonna put it into the YouTube. Wait, what is picking? It's still picking Klepov? Are you in a mock draft right now? What is going on? I might have to revert it to the past one. All right. I will do that. All right, so I just posted the comment for the draft simulator, so you can just click it here. And if you guys do want to follow me on X, I'll just throw that in there. I assume you guys all probably do, but yeah, let me know what sports teams you guys are fans of. So we have three people right now in here. We have 400 people watching currently, which I did not know these were live viewers. That is kind of crazy. The annual migration of Midwestern. Yeah. Cool. That is cool. I posted the thing in here. I do think that's a 0. Anthony, did you get it? Comment down. And it didn't the file didn't extract, so we just have to click the teams as quickly as possible. It's a 0, yeah. But once I get off, I'm going to be coding much more. Yesterday it worked much better. I just put in a lot more content in here and features, and there's just a little bug. I will do that. That is noted. No zeros or O's for the randomization, and ones and L's, or I's and L's. But let me know what you guys like about the mock draft stuff. And Michael, do you want to join the mock draft simulator? Does anybody want to join? I'll put up the I'll put up the code again. Awesome. Just put it in the code. You have to sign in as a guest. You do have to sign in as a guest. If you want me to walk you through it, I definitely will. Oh, here's actually a cool video I can show you guys.
Well, I loved watching Jonathan Taves and kind of Patrice Bergeron as well. I wasn't a Boston fan growing up, but was just respecting his game and seeing what he's done. But yeah, Jonathan Taves, kind of how he was so elite on both sides of the puck, in the circle, kind of all over the ice. You could trust him in any situation. You want him to be out there when you need a goal, and when you need to shut somebody down, you can also put him out.
So that was Caleb Malhotra, Jonathan Taves, and Patrice Bergeron. This kid is super pandering. Who is that? Malhotra or me? I feel like I don't even know anymore. I just appreciate all you guys for watching. 400 people in the live stream is pretty sweet. This is actually the lowest view count we've had since I started streaming. So the fact that it's been live viewers, did not realize that. I don't know how many accounts my mom made, but she made 300. Wow. I'm joking, but thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. We'll be doing these mock drafts with everybody so much. It's going to only get better. I'm only going to get smarter with the code and stuff. I'm only going to get better with what people like. I've made significant edits today, and I think that's why it kind of screwed up. There's got to be something wrong. I updated it already, but the extraction will not work while I'm on live. I need to get another computer. I got a super chat yesterday for $10 from Jim. Thank you, Jim. That was my first super chat ever, and I got really excited. I was like screaming. It's so damn humid in the suburbs, dude. I went to the city of Chicago for the Blackhawks practice today. It was 77 degrees. I ended up going to D'Amato's. Shout out D'Amato's for a cannoli and a pizza after, which is not good for my dietary plan. But I don't know if you guys have ever been to D'Amato's. This is not sponsored. No one sponsors me. I'm very unsponsored, but I really like their food. Yeah, that's the code. Anthony, thank you for joining. I know we had another guy in, but I completely realize if you don't want to try it again, it's been weird today. Also, who was the guy that said you're coming in? Uncommon Sense. Let me know. Let me know if you need any help, because you have to sign in as a guest, but don't sign in with your email unless you want to make an account. Then you can save. It's a 0. It's a 0. It's not an O. So did you get in now? There's somebody, Josh, just did it. Is that you? Yeah, tell me if you're Josh. 414 people watching live. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I really appreciate it. Yesterday we had like 1,000. The day before we had 1,000. So I don't know, but Twitter, the support from the people on Twitter has been crazy. All right. We're good. Let's go in. Click as fast as you can with these teams. What the heck? All right, go. Because for some reason there's a timer. We are in. We're going to do the drafting with the Don version, because every single time somebody picks. Rental. This is crazy. Wait, what? Is it allowing you to draft? I don't know. It says that it's rentals pick. Let me know, rental. Is it your pick? We picked all the teams. Okay, we're good. Whew, we're good. We're good, guys. So OTC means on the clock, but for some perfection? Why is that? Carroll's models his game after Miro Heiskanen and Jake Sanderson. He told me that in an interview I had with him. Taze is up picking. So who is Taze going to pick for his own team? This is the real Jonathan Toews, by the way. He just loves my content. Let's see who Jonathan Toews picks. This is a tough one now. So Chase Reed obviously went to the Blues, which I think would be really good. They obviously didn't get Radim Merca in the trade deadline because Colton Parayko didn't waive his no trade clause. Feel like they would go right-handed defenseman if the opportunity came up. For Caleb Maholtra, that's a good pick for the Blackhawks. I think that's exactly who they would pick if they did get 4. They could go Albert Smits or Carson Carrolls for a left-handed side, but then that creates more questions. Just pick the guy that could be a 1C and then put him as your 2C. Put Frank on the wing. For Keaton Verhoff for the Rangers, I really like that. That could be like an Adam Fox-esque type of player for them. Am I allowed to trade? I would trade down with San Jose, but then you don't get to pick. Then whoever got San Jose picks. I think someone already traded because Florida's 10 now. So somebody definitely traded. Oh, yeah, St. Louis traded with the Panthers. So we had a trade in the mock draft. Trevor, can you trade or pick? Lebowski is picking. So Ethan Belchez to the Winnipeg Jets at 6. I think I'm not really sure who they would pick, but you get a guy that's 6'5", putting up good numbers in the OHL, playing with Liam Greentree. Feel like that would be really cool. Tynan Lawrence has top 6 potential. I think Boston, they love drafting their centers recently. Feel like that would be a good pick. Obviously, his production went down at Boston University, but what I have not talked about a lot is Boston loves picking guys that went to their colleges. They love picking guys in their background or in their backyard. Boston could definitely be a pick for Tynan Lawrence. So I'm up with Nashville, and I feel like Nashville would just take Carson Carrolls. I don't think he should drop this far at 8. Carson Carrolls is very good two-way defenseman. He models his game after Miro Heiskanen and Jake Sanderson. And then for Seattle, they have not taken a defenseman since their inaugural season in 2021 in the first round. So I feel like they could go with Albert Smits or Daxton Rudolph. For me, I'm going to go Albert Smits. He's the top on my board. And even though I went 2 players, Smits is already playing, obviously, professional hockey in Europe. Feel like that would be a good pick. Daxton Rudolph was taken by the Panthers. I think that's a good pick. Yeah, Viggo Bjork's brother William was drafted by the Canucks. Also, if they trade back in, I think that they could go in that direction. Anthony is going. He went Oliver Savanto for the Sharks. I think Oliver Savanto is a player that's going to go in this range in the top 15. He just has a lot of size. Viggo Bjork to the Devils, I do like this as well. Somebody traded someone because okay, the picks are back. So comment down below who you think will go first, Oliver Savanto or Oscar Hemming, because this has been a question that a lot of people have been asking me recently, and I want your opinions. Carroll's is pretty slow, Lebowski said. So with Carroll's, he actually has only developed his skating more and more. I actually am very impressed with his skating and how it looked at the World Juniors. I thought he looked fantastic. He's actually an excellent skater. It's just his acceleration. He needs to work on his acceleration. So you are right. Once his first step gets better and he kind of get left in the dust. But Nikita Klepov to the Capitals at 13, 97 points in the OHL this year. Really skilled player. Think that he has the offensive upside and ability to be a really elite forward. But the B game is in question. But the thing is, Nikita Klepov also played defense growing up. So I think that there's more floor there than people think. And also in the comments, if you guys, Anthony got kicked. I wonder. I hope that was an internet thing and not a mock draft thing. I've never heard anyone get kicked. Can you put trades to show up in the chat? Yes, that is perfect. The user feedback has been fantastic today. So I'm going to take Anthony's picks. Here's the chat, by the way. And we will start to have the chat read trades. So rental meet Ard. I know what it's trying to be, but he is up. So Juho Pipparainen is a really good defenseman out of Finland. He has a lot of upside. Somebody in the chat yesterday called him a Miro Heiskanen. That's his full potential if he reaches it. He's really good on both ends of the ice. It's just the production level. There's not a lot of production there in his league, and I feel like there needs to be more. But at the same time, he played great at the World Juniors in Finland. He actually got scratched during the bronze medal game. I'm not sure why, but they definitely look like they needed him. So, Rental, let me know when you go, and then hopefully Anthony can get back in. I need to code something that shows how to get back into. Rental, are you still in? Since he's not, I'm going to do a prospect dawn randomize. Okay, that's one of the features that said. I did not put that in there. Okay, same thing. I would not say that. Rental, you in? Rental says he's in. Can you draft still, or what's going on? Do you have time? Oh, okay. Yeah, you could email me. Do you have an X? DM me on X at the Prospect Dawn. I'll follow you back, and then I'll tweet you, or I'll DM you if that's something that you can do. If you have an X account. If not, I can, but the name is available changed on me. Okay. But you got Ryan Lynn, so that's somebody in the realm. And then for Anthony, he glitched out, so I'm gonna have to trade his picks. All right, I have Seattle, so I'm gonna trade him to Seattle. And then in like the new update I have that's not extracting because we're on live, like there's an auto button. So this shouldn't be an issue next time. But this is what happens when you do live content. So this is still, I obviously traded for, this is Seattle. This is not Seattle's pick, but I'm going to go JP Herber here. Really skilled player. Boris is up. I wonder what happened to Anthony's thing. I'll take them. Okay. Lebowski, what picks do you have left? Just show me the number near the thing. I'll give you his picks. Just comment down below and I'll give you his picks. But it has to be, I can't see who your picks are, so But whenever Anthony's drafting next, I'll give it to you. Oh, of course. Yeah, Mark. Just shoot me a DM because we have 410 people watching. I don't want to post my email on there because I only have 21. Okay, I'm going to give you. Well, now I know you have Boston's picks. So every time Anthony comes up, I'll give it to Boston. And then we'll see if that works. Some of these prospect Dawn facts are not facts. They're just comments. I don't know why it's doing that. I did not say top shelf talent, just like the Dom likes. Like, what does that even mean? What would that even mean? But if any of you guys ever want to talk about any prospects, like you can always ask me anything in my DMs or anything like that, or on Twitter. If you guys see a post you like, if you guys have a prospect in mind that you guys might want content on, like I've probably interviewed a lot of the prospects you're thinking about. So let me know. Like I think I've hit like 200 plus prospects I've interviewed. Mathis Preston goes to Boston. This is an interesting one. Mathis Preston is a player that was a top 10 pick in this class early in summer scouting, and he just didn't produce as much as we thought he was going to. I believe he only had like 38 points and like 50 plus games. I need to check that. It could have been like 60 games, but this guy has ultimate skill. I actually have a bunch of clips of Mathis Preston I'd love to show you guys, but I don't want to interact with the mock draft. But after the mock draft, I'm going to show you. This guy is one of the most skilled players in the entire class. So Trevor is on the clock with Columbus Blue Jackets. And Lebowski, every single time, don't exit out, because every single time Anthony comes up, I'll give you his picks with the Bruins. But thank all of, like, I'm so happy that all you guys are watching the content. 414 live viewers, 395 on X, and 19 on YouTube. I'm also going to have to dinner is up. I have to bail. Okay. Totally get that. I'm going to start streaming live from TikTok and Facebook as well. So we have 1,000 on each of those. So if you guys like this content, it's over there too. But Lebowski, now you can have his stuff too. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, man. Ano Domini, I hope I'm saying that right. I really appreciate your support. It's been a wild run the last 14 months when I joined media, and yeah. Thank you so much on Common Sense. The name was hilarious. Bon appetit. Thank you. Taze is picking again. All right. Are you still in on Common Sense? Probably not. If not, I'm going to trade his pick to the Bruins. Just give him 1 second. All right, I'm trading his pick to the Bruins. So, Lebowski, you're up. Lebowski, let me know if that works for you. Okay. If it doesn't work, it only lets the host do it. I'm going to implement this in my next mock, in my next update. There's just so many things to learn. Like I said, this is day 2. So overall, I'm happy with how it looks and everything, but it should work better. Wait, now I just gave you. Wait, who picks 29? Carolina. Okay. Sorry, it was a little frozen. All right, now it's frozen. Okay. Yeah, my system is completely frozen. Okay, it's back. It's back. I might have to start doing this on my Mac Mini. Obviously, that would work a lot better. All right, it says Trevor's picking. I thought I had. What? All right, all right. I'm just going to put it to Seattle. I know that works. All right, I'm taking Pantelis. I don't know why that doesn't work. All right, now I got to do this again for him. So the Canucks here, this will be the Canucks pick. But since Uncommon Scent Rental left, I have to do it to the Seattle Kraken because for some reason it doesn't allow. It should allow the host to override all the picks. And for Seattle, I think that they could go for a guy like Marcus Ruck. I know they haven't really picked a lot of defensemen lately. So Anthony also left. So we have to pick for San Jose. So this is a San Jose pick, obviously, for the people that are watching. But you know that I'll have to do this trade because he left. Before we do another one, I think today we're just not going to do this. For the Sharks at 26, I think they will target defensemen. I think like a guy like Ben McBeath would be a really good one. But left-handed. All right, I'm going to go William Hawkinson. William Hawkinson's playing pro. He won gold with Sweden. Boris, you're up if you're still in. Understand if you're not. This did not work well. All right, so Boris did pick. Thank you for staying with me. Took Yegor Shilov, who was a USHL player and was like a 0.5 points per game. And then after he went to the Q, he exploded. Definitely could see him going in this range. Alexander Command is a player that has kind of like third line floor. I think that he definitely can make the NHL, and that's very important. Is it going to be on like, he's not going to be a play driver. His B game is good. He's just a solid floor play. Not really somebody that kind of excites me in a way. Lebowski is up at 29 for Boston. And Boston does have some good pieces on the board. I can scroll down. You got like Ben McBeath, Jack Hextall, Marcus Nordbark is lower on my board than everybody's, but there is concerns about just like the engagement level in games too, and how much he wants it. So I dropped him on my board. Vladimir Trevecki is someone I'm high on. Go ahead, Trevor. Do it. I like him, but yeah, it was probably a reach for Command. The thing about Command is like a lot of people have him pretty high. I just haven't seen anything. It's like I need that upside. Lebowski, are you still in? Once we finish the mock draft, I'm gonna go into some of the prospect pool stuff and some of the like mock sim stuff, like the sim standings, because we just can't do another mock draft. This is not working properly. And we'll be back on tomorrow with John Viveras from Hot Take Hockey. I think he's very close to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, so definitely check him out. We planned on doing something tomorrow. Islanders are up too. Lebowski, are you still in, or should I? Let me know what's going on. I'll give him one more minute. At 7:17, I'll pick for him. All right, I'm going to pick for him. And this is the Boston's pick, but I do feel like they could go with a guy like Malte Gustafsson. Just continue to get that defense going. Taze is up. Trevor, you're up. And also the Penguin scored. It's 2-1. But ask me anything in the chat if you guys are in here. Like I said, there's 410 people watching currently. You guys can ask me legitimately anything about any prospect or anything like that. We have the database here. For St. Louis. And like I said, as soon as I get off of this, which I'll probably get off pretty soon, so that I can try to update this, because this is really annoying when it doesn't work perfectly. Yesterday it worked much better, but I had updated it a lot. Adam Valentini is a guy that produced a lot. 25 games. Wait, no, 25 points in 38 games played in Michigan. He might be 5'9". He's listed at 5'9", but they also say 5'11". Boris, are you still in? I understand if you're not. All right, so that was pretty shit. Not gonna lie. We just had issues with one guy getting kicked, and then I'm not sure what happened to him, and then one person leaving for dinner. But other than that, it should go better. All right, so let's go to some of these tabs. If you guys want to go onto the site and do like the who goes higher, Gavin McKenna or Ivor Stenberg, Keaton Verhoff, or Chase Reed, this shows the data, so it is helpful. I'm before you create a public room, I'm going to update a lot of this. News section, it just goes straight to either the website, which you're already on, or me, and you could follow from there. This is my company handle. I own Draft Prospects Hockey. We're a scouting service. You want to see anything about Gavin McKenna, you just check here. See his stats. Prospect pool system. Let me know who you guys want to see, but you could go to like the Canucks, see all these players. You go to the Blues, see what Justin Carbonneau is doing and what he has done in the past. NHL players, a full list. If you want to see Connor Bedard, like 68 points in 61 games. The dude's had an incredible season. He had 67 last year, so he beat a career high. He's had 60 every year right now. It's kind of funny, but also only -7. Really heard those doubters. In the league settings, you can see everybody here that's top of their board. It's kind of interesting. Marcus Ruck has more points than his brother Liam. I always think that's funny. Yeah, Cameron Schmidt, who went 94th to the Stars last year, has 100 points. The one thing is he is smaller, but really do like that kid. Let's see the USHL ones, actually. Alex Peltier, who I voted for a couple times for Player of the Week. I'm on the board there, so of Player of the Week. I'm on the board of voting. So that's a cool one. AHL, Jacob Peltier. It's kind of interesting. They're both Peltier is first in both of these. I don't think they're even brothers. Ethan Wittenbach is the highest in the NCAA. Very impressive season he's having. Gavin McKenna's 4th. So that's that. We'll go back to the tank race. Any other questions? Ask me anything. I'll probably get off in the next few minutes. If you guys don't have any questions or anything, I'm probably going to get off, but I really appreciate everybody for hanging with me for the last 3 hours. It flew by. It did not feel like 3 hours at all. All right, guys, I'm going to get off then. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in and joining me for that long. 406 viewers. So that's awesome. Really appreciate it. Have a good night, guys.